All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. Today we've got the second match in Group B as Portugal take on Spain. It's set to be a very exciting game. We saw earlier Italy and Belgium face off where Italy won 1-0 thanks to a goal from Ariana Caruso. Now we see Spain, the reigning world champions, taking on Portugal. Harry, these two sides have met fairly recently. What does that tell us going into tonight's game?
I think it tells us what we already knew before a ball was kicked, that Spain are very, very good and Portugal will have to be at their very best to stand a chance of getting anything from this game. But we have seen stranger things happen in football and you can't write them off just yet. But Spain coming into this European Championships, yet to get their hands on the Euros trophy. A lot of people think they'll go all the way this year, and it all starts tonight. They need to kick it off with a win, need to show and back up those predictions as to people thinking that they're the favourites and they're going to go on to win this tournament. So it always starts with a good start. You never want to start with a poor result or put yourselves on the back foot when you are being labelled as the favourites. So I think it's important for Spain to go out there. They're playing before any of the other favourites in England, France and Germany, so I think there's a good opportunity for Spain tonight to go and set the bar high and go to your other sides and say, that's how good we are, you now go and better it. And that's exactly what the job's got to be for Spain tonight. Go out there, be convincing, put a few past Portugal and show everyone what you're really made of.
Yeah, young Cypher up with the strings. We're back praying for a whole bunch of goals. That would be nice. And Alex has a question about the team selection. So let's get into the teams for tonight's games because Spain with a few big omissions due to injury. In goal, it's going to be a 4-3 for Spain. In goal, Nan Clares replaces the injured Catalina Cole. Cole was a doubt coming into this game. She has made the bench but not fit to start. In the back four, Batier, Mendes, Alexandri and Olga Carmona. No Paredes tonight, believed to be a knock and hasn't made the matchday squad. In midfield three, Lopez Gallardo and captain Alexia Putellas. Aitana Bonmati does make the bench, which is a surprise after contracting viral meningitis just before this tournament. And the front three then of Claudente Gonzalez and Claudia Pina. So a few decisions there forced through injury. The big decision not forced though, Paraluelo not starting. Is that a surprise for you, Harry?
Not at all. I think it's 100% the correct decision. Claudia Pina has been absolutely incredible this year. She's been phenomenal, both in a Barcelona and a Spain shirt. She's almost scored. She's scored in 7 of her 15 Spain appearances. That's nearly one every other game, which is a mightily impressive record. And when you consider that most of those appearances have come when she hasn't been starting. So I think she's a phenomenal player, has looked so dangerous this season. And if Spain are going to go on and win this competition, I think Claudia Pina could be the main reason that happens. So her starting for me today is absolutely crucial and a massive moment for her because she thoroughly deserves that. She's done really well to work her way into the starting 11. Overall, though, I think despite the omissions, it is still a really, really good side and very encouraging to see Bonmati making the bench, and that is very promising for her.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we can see her involved, even if it's only a bit part role tonight. But going forwards and so on, hopefully we can see more of Aitana Bonmati. Alex saying alongside with injuries, Kika, injuries and no Kika, with injuries to Kika, sorry, no hope for Portugal, yeah. Well, let's have a look then at the Portugal side. Kika Nazareth, as mentioned there, is still on the bench. It's going to be a 3-4-1-2 or 3-5-2 for Portugal tonight. In goal, Inés Pereira, a back three of Gomez, Captain Koska and Tatiana Pinto. Across the four, Fonseca, Jacinto, Pinto and Amado. In the attacking midfield position, replacing Kika Nazareth, is Norton, and a front line of Jessica Silva and Diana Silva. So no real changes for Portugal. This is exactly how we expect them to line up, Harry. It's a decent team without Nazareth. Is there a concern about where the goals come from?
Potentially so. I think from Portugal point of view, we always knew as we touch and go whether Nazareth would be available and back ready for the start of the tournament. I think that not playing her today, even risking her today, would have been the wrong decision. At the end of the day, you have to play the odds, and realistically, they know they were going to struggle against Spain anyway. So it makes more sense for me as to what they've done is put her on the bench today, and then don't take any risks and make sure she's ready for the remaining 2 fixtures in this group. So that makes sense for me, but it is a shame that she won't be part of the 11 taking on Spain today. But yeah, overall, it's the Portugal side that we expected to see. They've still got some quality, and if those players, it is now up to someone else to step up in the absence of Nazareth, but it's going to be hard work for Portugal today. They're going to be on the back foot. There's going to be a lot of defending to do as well. So they're going to have to dig in. They're going to have to hold out for a lot of the game. But, we're seeing strange things happen in football. And I think they'll make a good go of it. This is the Euros. This is a major international tournament. And yes, they've had some really poor results recently in the Nations League against England and against Belgium. And Spain obviously earlier in those Nations League campaigns, but I think international tournament Portugal will be very keen to make sure that they keep this game competitive, that they don't get embarrassed, and that they keep, because even if goal difference could be massive as well in this group, so it's very important that Portugal don't allow Spain to run away with it tonight. They've got to remain competitive and try and keep Spain out for as long as possible.
Yeah, well, let's have a look then or discuss some of the areas in which Portugal have got to be very careful tonight. Looking at the back five, I think playing a back five does make sense for Portugal tonight. Spain are going to overlap both fullbacks, so often they're going to play a 3-2 or 2-3-5 actually a lot of the time for Spain, with how aggressive their fullbacks can be. Often, though, we see Olga Carmona become almost a left winger and Battier tuck in, so you create that 3-2-5 shape. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. I'm enjoying the Portuguese fans there with banners talking about them having better food than the Spanish. Love that.
I like that. Even those little things, trying to gain an advantage in the crowd. But yeah, as you say, Portugal, they're going to have to sit deep. They're going to have to watch out in wide areas because Spain are very, very dangerous in those places. And their best hope tonight is that Spain overcommit, and then Portugal can use the pace in that front line to spring a surprise and catch Spain in transition. Again, Spain overcommitting is common, but usually when they overcommit, they don't lose the ball and they end up scoring a goal. So it's very difficult to win that ball off them and then spring back before they can get into position.
I think the other thing for Portugal is going to be, being able to press tonight. We've seen that Spain can make errors in deep line possession phases when they're playing out from the back. I think that is where we can see Portugal take advantage. And on the flip side, Portugal have had a huge problem playing out from the back. The number of times they've been caught out while trying to play out from the back. Remember the England game particularly, they kept giving the ball away. And then they kept conceding from those opportunities. They can't afford to do that tonight against Spain. So, yeah, they've got the cloud of the fact that the last meeting between these two sides was 7-0 win for Spain. I can't see Portugal letting it get out of hand like that tonight. But they've got to be wary of just how good Spain are.
Yeah, it's one of those where I don't think Spain will be perfect tonight. I don't think...
A lot of misses, and that will have some impact.
That will have some impact, and, every side starting the tournament is never at 110%. The problem for Portugal is that even Spain at 80% could win this game by 2 goals, 3 goals. So it's going to take... It's a mammoth task for Portugal tonight. I think the other thing they've got to be careful of is not focusing on individuals. We see so many times that people... will decide, they'll look at, usually, Bonmati not being the team helps, because usually teams will go, right, stop Bonmati, stop Putea, stop Calorente, and they'll forget about Gonzalez, or they'll forget about Pina, and that will be the key for Portugal tonight, is do not focus on shutting down one player. They have to focus on shutting down Spain as a unit, which is very difficult to do, because even if you stop Calorente and stop Putellas and stop Gonzalez and stop Vicky Lopez, Claudia Pina, the UWSL top goal scorer, is just hanging out on the left-hand side, ready to cut in and cause you all sorts of problems. So I think Portugal, it's going to be a tough job tonight, but the Euros is full of surprises sometimes, and they'll want to make a good go of it, and they'll want to put on a really good performance.
Yeah, HB, welcome to saying Ballon d'Or, charge continues, let's go Mariona, Amir Ragragui, welcome to the stream, good to see you. We'll get to predictions in just a second. Young Cypher saying, in my opinion, I think Claudia's more effective coming off the bench because she wants her presence to be known, but I don't think she'll disappoint if she starts. I disagree. I think I've heard a lot of people perpetuate this idea. I just disagree. I think it's just a cope to try and suggest why Paraluelo deserves to start, but honestly, I think Pina's a much better player at the moment, and Paraluelo hasn't offered much impact in the games that she's played, so that I've seen her play. So I think it makes sense to start Pina. It makes much more sense to me.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. Of course, she completely agrees. She has a massive impact off the bench, but that's because of the quality she has. She can do that from minute one. It's just that she doesn't get the opportunity to most of the time for both Spain and for Barcelona. So I think tonight poses a massive opportunity for her from minute one to show everyone what she's got, and that she isn't just a 20-minute burst player that she can do it and completely tear defences apart. Look, she started the second leg against Chelsea and took that Chelsea side to the cleaners. She was absolutely formidable at Stamford Bridge. She was brilliant when she came on in the first leg as well. She was brilliant when she came on against England, and she completely flipped that game on its head. That's the kind of ability she has, but she can do that from whether she comes on in minute 60 or whether she starts from minute 1, she can do that. So I think that I think tonight, I mean, I predicted her to be my top goal scorer of the tournament. I think tonight she will show why I predicted her to do that.
Fair enough. Well, let's get into predictions then ahead of this one. If you haven't already, get yours in the live chat. We've got loads rolling in, but we'll start here in the studio. Harry, what is your prediction for tonight's game?
I can't look past Spain. I think they've got way too much quality, and that will prevail against Portugal. I think Portugal will be resolute for about 20-30 minutes, but Spain will eventually break the deadlock. I will go 3-0 Spain. Pretty convincing. Nothing outlandish, not getting out of control, but a really strong victory to open the tournament. And I will go for a Claudia Pina double and then a goal from I'll go Mariona Calorente. 3-0 Spain. Yeah. Really good start for the reigning world champions.
Well, I hate to have to agree with you, but I think that's the most likely result. I don't think Spain will absolutely batter Portugal tonight, but I think they'll have it fairly convincing. Yeah. So 3-0 feels the most fitting. Maybe Portugal nick a goal, but yeah, I'm going to say 3-0 Spain. I'll say a Pina goal, a Gonzalez goal, and an Olga Carmona goal.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think the only way Portugal score is if Spain have got really comfortable and just take their foot off the gas. But the chances of that happening are very slim.
You've got to bear in mind, Mendes is starting at centre-half. Could that have an impact? Nan Claro's in goal. Not a bad goalkeeper, but not Catalina Cole. Could that have an impact tonight? Potentially so, but we'll wait and see what happens in the game. I'm not going to hold out too much hope of that happening because Spain is still an excellent side. But I think there are weaknesses that could be exploited if Portugal play well. That, though, is a massive if. Looking at some of the predictions in the live chat, Amir saying Spain 4, Portugal 2. Jennifer going Spain 3, Portugal 1, which Jon Cypher agrees with. So, yeah, a lot of people predicting that Spain will win this game. Unsurprisingly, the polling chat at the moment, 81% think Spain will win tonight's game, 14% Portugal, and 5% going for a draw. Philly's going 6-1 to Spain, so slightly less modest prediction from Phil there.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't get out of control tonight. I think for Portugal, they aren't 6-1 isn't that 7-0 in the Nations League wasn't representative of the quality that Portugal have at their disposal, and that's why it does frustrate me because again, when I see big scores like that, I don't take any credit away from Spain. Absolutely brilliant, but we know that Portugal can play better than that, and that will be my problem tonight. That will just really, I think it will set their tournament up horribly, Portugal, if they turn out tonight and get battered. Because that just won't represent the quality they have. Because they could get battered tonight, but they still have the quality to go and beat both Belgium and Italy. So I really hope they can keep it respectable and put up a good fight. We want to see them take the challenge to Spain and hold on and defend well and not just collapse and just give in to Spain, because it is very easy to do because of the quality that Spain have. But I really hope that Portugal can hang in there and defend heroically to keep this game as competitive as possible.
Yeah.
And again, yes, Spain have overall quality, but you have to say the same things you do in these underdog matches. The longer it remains 0-0, the more the game will come towards Portugal, the more frustrated Spain will get, and the result will keep coming Portugal's way. The problem is that we're so used to seeing Spain just come out in these kind of games and score in the first 10 minutes, and suddenly it's game. You're already up against it, and it's practically game over.
Yeah, the other aspect of tonight's game is two head coaches who I think need a victory. Two head coaches who don't carry a whole lot of favour with the national side right now. Remember the reaction to our Portugal preview being we won't win anything. We won't win any games with Francisco Neto. I've seen a lot of Spain fans not big fans of Montserrat Tomé. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to prove for both coaches tonight, and whoever does come away with the victory will have, that will be huge in terms of providing or gaining faith in their management. So, yeah, just an added impact to tonight's game.
Yeah, 100%. This is Tomé's first technically international tournament. Yes, we've had things like the Olympics and the Nations League, but this is the first, for me, what I'd class the first major international tournament. It is a different environment to those other tournaments. So it is different for her, and it's, again, I'm sure she won't have problems adjusting, but she'll want to get her off to a good start.
Yeah, and before kickoff, as we had earlier today, there will be a minute's silence in memory of Diogo Jota, the Portugal and Liverpool forward. We woke up to the very sad, tragic news of his passing. And nice to see again this tribute from the women's game to a player who was a huge proprietor of the women's game, a huge supporter. He was involved in lots of campaigns promoting women's football. And yeah, horrible to see someone so young lose their life.
And hopefully, Portugal can take that and use it to as motivation to go and play in his honour and go and put on a good result tonight. Because that would be perfect if they went out and then they managed to get a result off Spain tonight, pulled off a big shock and on a big important night for the country.
Yeah, I imagine that emotion will be running quite high in the Portuguese camp. Hopefully, as you say, they can channel it rather than be distracted by
100%.
it. So, yeah. Either way, nice tribute there. Now, players readying to get underway here. And Portugal also with the black armbands as well, it's worth saying.
I say the Portugal fans have come out in their numbers. I think it's a brilliant support.
Huge turnout.
Whether it's signs honouring Jota, whether it's signs saying that their pastel de natto is better than churros. They've come out and they're getting behind their nation, which is exactly what they need. Going into a tournament like this is a really big opportunity for Portugal to show their quality and to do well at this Euros, and a big support is exactly what they want.
And it will be Portugal to get us underway in tonight's game. The referee just waiting for confirmation from the goalkeepers to get us underway. Here in Bern, it's Portugal waiting for the referee's confirmation. Now we'll get the game started. Silva knocks it back to Tatiana Pinto, and we're underway in this game. Matchweek 1, the first game for both these sides in this year's Women's Euros. And Spain looking to get their tournament off to a good start. Portugal with a tough test to open.
Yeah, first 5 minutes are crucial for Portugal. Need to settle in, get a foot on the ball. Don't allow Spain to score early because that just puts you in a world of trouble.
Yeah. Throwing down the line, headed out by Olga Carmona. Portugal just looking to build their way up this right-hand side. Trying to put some early pressure onto Spain. Yeah, Francisco Neto, a man with a lot to prove. Nations League didn't go the way they wanted. After the win the draw against England, there were high expectations, high hopes that Portugal could do something promising, but they didn't realise them. And ended up with a pretty poor showing across the tournament.
Yeah.
Spain in possession now. Back to Nan Clara's first touch on the ball, important touches.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. It'd be nice if obviously, you never want to see a player have to miss out due to an injury or a knock, but it promotes a massive opportunity for Nan Clara to come in tonight and get herself a start in a Spain shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she'd love a clean sheet to go alongside it.
Mendes. Now Lea Alexandri. Knocks it across to Olga Carmona. Ball lifted in behind. Chance now for Gonzalez. Trying to get under control. Does really well. Great start for Spain as they take the lead. Esther Gonzalez. 1 minute and 28 seconds in. Tucks one home for Spain. It's a direct vertical ball flicked on well by Gonzalez. And that's Spain 1, Portugal 0.
Really good stuff from Spain, showing their quality early doors. It's a great ball from Carmona. Gonzalez does really well to bring it down and slot it past the keeper. But shocking from Portugal again. We speak about holding on for the first 5 minutes and getting the basics right. And within a minute, they've allowed one ball to go over the top. Gonzalez brings it down and finishes it well, but under no challenge. The defence just whoever this is, I can't remember who it quite was here, just gets completely caught out. She's timed the run brilliantly. She's onside, does so well to bring it down, but it's too easy for her. Way too easy.
Really tidy finish.
Really good stuff. It's a great finish. The touch is brilliant.
Brings it down well, and then a nice flick off the back heel. And Ines Pereira, just not strong enough goalkeeping, really.
No.
No one can compete, and that's Spain 1, Portugal 0.
And defender just completely has no idea where the ball's gone. Just completely loses her surroundings, which you cannot afford to do against Spain. Tell you what, Tommy hadn't even had an opportunity to sit down, and Spain hit the front, and that is what I said Spain do. They start fast and they hit you early, and suddenly you're up against it.
So brought down in there will be, well, Portugal I think have come away with a throw. So can they use that to try and hit back in this game? Conceding early does make this a very difficult task now for Portugal.
It's like the one thing. It's like the one rule that you have when you play against sides that are much larger, much stronger than you, is that you just keep things tight for the first couple of minutes. Nothing silly. Clear your lines. If a ball comes over the top, you just deal with it. But to concede in a minute and a half of this Euros campaign is just not good enough for Portugal.
Here's Gomez lifting that ball over the top. It's an ambitious one. Norton will chase it down. Headed home well, though, by Onabatie. And the ref dropped a yellow card. Here is Alexandre. Spain looking a bit up down this left-hand side. As successfully as they did the last time. Puteas. Carmona down the line into Pino, unable to take our player on, but does win herself a throw. But perfect start. Fresh to Gonzalez. Some doubts about her coming into this tournament. She's been brilliant in the NWSL this season, but how would she integrate into the Spain setup? Well, flawlessly, as shown in these opening minutes. And the ref there making a good challenge to stop Alexa Puteas.
Yeah.
So that will be a drop ball.
Elena Demetrescu getting involved in the action early.
Shock. Yeah, Demetrescu on Spain is a fun call. And that is a Spain throw.
Yeah, I do agree. I think that since Esther Gonzalez obviously played out in the States in a Spain side that is very much is European dominated, Barcelona dominated, plus other players being there for Europe, I think that she is the kind of the forgotten player in this Spain 11, but she is a crucial part of it, and she's proven that early doors tonight. Is that if Spain are going to go on to win the Euros this summer, Gonzalez will be a leader in that department.
Well, there was a belief that Paraluelo could play through the middle, but with her moving back towards a bit of playing as a wide player for Barca this season, that hasn't really happened. Probably for the best for Spain.
Yeah.
Spain out, playing out from the back, Alexandre. That's what I'm talking about with pressure. Portugal just haven't pressed them.
No.
Way too much respect. And there, they press them and Carmona makes a mistake. That's what they've got to do. They've got to put them under pressure. Here's Gomez, not a perfect ball back to Ines Pereira, who will smash it out of play. Yeah, this has been a nervy start for Portugal.
Yeah.
And a flawless one, really, for Spain.
Yeah. The when you play nervous against sides like Spain, they'll smell blood and they'll come for you. They'll see that you're playing conservative. They'll see that you're playing pretty negatively, and they'll just come at you and cause you all kinds of problems.
Alexandre. Now Olga Carmona slides one in to Claudia Pina. Pina across the box. Pereira parries. Here's Onabatie. Thought she might strike it later to Vicky Lopez. Lopez weaving her way out of trouble. Now looking for a teammate. Wonderful footwork from Lopez. Carmona back to Lopez. Pina now back towards Lopez. Lovely give and go. Dispossessed there before being able to get towards goal by Pinto.
Yeah.
They can't compete, Portugal, at the moment. Absolutely can't compete. Ball swung into the box. Gonzalez looking to meet it. Well headed away by Costa. Lopez onto Onabatie. Knocks it out wide here for Caldente. Ball across the box, and it's going to go for Lopez, and it's 2-0 Spain. It's just too easy for them. They make football look so simple. Spain 2, Portugal 0 after just 7 minutes. And already, Portugal are fading without a trace. Caldente on the right-hand side slides one across the box. Lopez does really well to meet it. And it's Spain leading now by 2 goals. And Ines Pereira sat down. Might as well have been sat down for both the goals so far. Portugal not in this game. Spain cruising to victory already.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant for Spain once again. Just moving it from left to right. Ball into Gonzalez. It's just headed out. And Vicky Lopez is just dancing around this Portuguese defence. They recycle it brilliantly. Caldente across the face of goal.
Would have been offside if Gonzalez had touched it.
Yeah.
She left it.
Someone has got to get a tackle in there. But Vicky Lopez just slides into the penalty area, unmarked, and puts it home for 2. Absolute brilliance from Spain. Absolute class. They are moving the ball around so nicely, so quickly. it is genuinely unstoppable.
Yeah.
But it's unstoppable to a point, but Portugal just too scared, not being strong enough. When Vicky, obviously it was brilliant footwork a moment ago from Vicky Lopez where she beat 3 players, but surely the third player has just got to smash into her.
It's too passive. Portugal are passengers in this game. They are just watching Portugal. They're just watching Spain, pass the ball around them like they're not even there.
Yeah.
It's a pathetic performance. I have to say already. 7 minutes in to be 2-0 down at European Championships.
Yeah, Spain have been brilliant, but
not off the plane yet, Portugal.
It shouldn't matter who it is or who you're playing or who's playing. Your first group game, you should never find yourselves 2-0 down in 7 minutes. That's poor against anybody. Doesn't matter that it's Spain. It could be the best football side I've ever seen.
Lovely footwork from Silva. Can she make something happen here? Gives away possession, unfortunately. Now Spain looking to play. Nanclares. 2 years of calling her Catalina. Now Mendes. Alexandri. Abdullah, unfortunately, our chat doesn't work like Alexa. Screaming broadcast channel will not get you the game. Ball into the box. Looking for Onabatier, unable. Goes out for a goal kick. And this will give Portugal a little bit of respite.
But also, what's the worst thing for Portugal now is that Spain can play without any pressure. They can be really relaxed about it. And when Spain can relax, they just play. The football just becomes ridiculously good, because they just move it around like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So it's only going to get harder for Portugal now.
Eddie up with the string. He says, funny, I should have Esther and Olga in my fantasy team, but I'm still picking my team at the deadline yesterday. And
they've lost it again in their own penalty area, but they've somehow rescued it.
Kept alive here by Spain. Lopez. Now Caldente. But now they look to break away. Portugal. Caldente wins it back. Strong battle here between Caldente and Amado. But yeah, I had Esther Gonzalez in my team. I had Gonzalez and Caruso, and I transferred them out for Girelli and Berenstein.
Yeah, that's not great.
Terrible decision from me there. But I do have old Carmona, who I didn't mean to pick. So there you go. Swings and roundabouts. And it's Portugal now in possession. Norton, Diana Silva. This is much better from Portugal. Moves out to the right-hand side. Fonseca.
And this is what is
Gomez.
Most frustrating is that Portugal are a decent side. They're getting the ball down now and they're playing football. Yeah. But they've messed it all up for themselves by conceding 2 goals.
The first few minutes they panicked and they kept punting it long. And all that's going to do is give Spain possession. You don't want Spain to have the ball ever. Jessica Silva in a foot race here against Mendes. She's battling away hard for it. Mendes does really well to stay goal side, remain strong, and then pass it back to Nanclares.
Top defending that. Top defending that. But yeah, Portugal kind of shot themselves in the foot here, and Spain have taken complete advantage, and credit to them because they've scored 2 really nice goals.
Yeah, Esther Gonzalez with away her 50th cap for Spain this evening. What a way to cap it off, eh?
Wee.
Here's Diana Silva. Now it's Tatiana Pinto. Back to Fatima Pinto. Good control from Armado, then loses possession. Portugal now hounding in the press, but it's Spain who hold possession. Gallardo plays a ball in behind, just about dealt with there by Gomez, then trying to overplay it a little. Gets away with a pass back to Ines Pereira, who can launch it long. I don't understand Ines Pereira's distribution. It's just always out of play.
Yeah, the problem is, where do Portugal go from here? That is the massive problem that Neto and the team have got now, is what on earth do they do now?
Yeah. I don't know.
Spain are just, they're happy now, they're content. They should keep knocking the ball around until the final whistle goes.
Here is Fatima Pinto, cuts out there by Mariona Caldente. One back in there by Pinto. Now Amado. Girl says, you've always been Kamano's biggest fan. Oh yeah, huge fan of a left back that can't defend. But no, she does contribute really well in the attacking third for Spain. That's evidenced by what was a fantastic ball into the box. Yeah, Neto looks like a man on the verge of tears. which isn't the sort of stoic leadership
No.
you want in a game like this, where you need to be strong and not concede 2 in the first 7 minutes.
I think that is also the face of a man that knows that if he doesn't win his next 2 games against Belgium and Italy, then he is also a man without a job. So that doesn't help either.
Diana Silva. Ball now lifted in behind. That's a good ball. Jessica Silva.
That is a good ball.
In behind for Portugal. There's a claim for offside, but play will continue. That won't. It's offside.
So wrong. There's no way that ball should ever go to the left-hand side there. No world should the ball go to the left-hand side.
Yeah. I think if you can pick out Jessica Silva in behind, that's a very dangerous ball, but she was offside apparently. Spain in possession. Putellas goes back to Nan Clares, who's pretty much the halfway line at this point. Mendes, Lopez. That's time to take a touch and turn. Now Caldente. Such fluidity in this Spain team, but they are just playing against nothing. Like, Portugal are nowhere near them at the moment. They're not touch tight. They're not making life difficult for them. Now Portugal could look to come and try and come the other way. And they lose possession. Battier. Plays it inside. Lopez. Now Mariona Caldente. And just switches the play. Great timing of the run from Claudia Pina. Can't quite meet it though. The ball is just ahead of her. Does really well to keep the ball in touch. Waiting for some support. Here's Olga Carmona. Goes back now to Alexandri. Pina. Brought down there. Clean tackle. Really good tackle, in fact, from Fonseca. Then Diana Silva gives away possession. Caldente. It's just... I don't know what I'm watching. It's like watching a tutorial on how to play tiki-taka football. And the opposition are just like, oh, this is a generic shape. They're nowhere near. Poor pass. Gonzalez is in for Spain. Big save from Inés Pereira. It was a little bit too wide there, Gonzalez, but that's poor from Fatima Pinto and almost gifting Spain a third.
Yeah, really messy. And you cannot make errors against Spain. You have to be perfect, and it's just a shambles at the moment for Portugal. And Spain are running riot with it, absolutely running riot. It's a really good save from Pereira to keep this at 2-0, but way too easy. You can't just. Esther Gonzalez is good enough on her own. You don't need to put her through on goal. You don't need to do that because Karen Tay can do that for you. You don't need to make it easier for them by just toe punting it a yard in front of you and just giving Gonzalez the ball.
Yeah. Ball into the box. Headed away. Putellas will look to keep this alive. Can she deliver a ball into the box? Tries to find a pass on the edge. Gallardo fighting away for it. Now Portugal could drive with the ball. Amado finds Jessica Silva. 2v1 here in Spain's favour, but Jess Silva running at them needs some support. Spain have recovered so quickly. No one is helping
Where's
now,
her
Jessica
team?
Silva. Spain had 8 players there against 1 for Portugal by the time they'd all recovered. And no one got forwards. Evan Williams watches the strain says Portugal needs to be careful. They don't ship 4 or 5 here. Goal differential in this group could be massive. Oh, absolutely.
Spot on.
Absolutely, they've got to be careful. It's so close between Portugal, Italy, and Belgium, but this is a placid performance. And the issue it's going to have as well, and this is how fixture order can have an impact in group games, is they're now going into a game against Italy next week. On Monday, and they're going to come off of what's likely going to be a quite heavy loss at the moment compared to Italy, who come in on a win. So that already makes it really difficult for Portugal because morale is going to be low after this game.
100%.
Compared to Italy, who are still, on the high of Ariana Caruso's effort earlier.
Yeah, I have no words. It's just so frustrating from a neutral point of view when the I know they're massive underdogs, but when they turn up and they just hand it to the better. Obviously, Spain are brilliant. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Spain, but like if Poland turn up tomorrow and play us against Germany, it's gonna be so frustrating. If Wales play like this against Netherlands on Saturday, it's gonna be so frustrating. You want to see, even when they're up against it, sides not just turn up and roll over, and embarrass themselves. because Portugal are better than this.
Pokes one through. Pina takes aim. Good stop from Pereira.
Yes, Pereira's going to get some good practice in this evening. But yeah, I mean, we've only played 18 minutes. Spain haven't scored in the last 11 minutes, and they're still on for a goal every 9 minutes. Absolutely absurd.
Here's Caldente. Does well to get past Amado. Still driving forwards. Caldente is brought down, but the pass finds way to Pina. Can't quite find a teammate. Battier wins the ball back. Here is Mendes under pressure from Jessica Silva. Goes back to Nan Clares, though. And Spain can rebuild on the left-hand side. Leyu Abraham up to the stream says Spain will defo win this match. Portugal is so cooked. Not the vocabulary I would use, but they haven't played particularly well in the opening phases of this game, no. They've struggled. Ball into the box. Looking for Gonzalez. 2 Portuguese players miss it. Gonzalez, though, can't adjust their feet in time. Shots blocked. And now Spain have a corner.
2 players committing for the same ball is as bad as it is, but for both those players to miss it and allow it to fall to Esther Gonzalez of all players in Open's face, it's just unbelievable.
Cannons off the knee of Costa.
Good block. And again, a brilliant ball. It was at Carmona again. Great ball in.
Yeah.
Puts it right in the danger area. The first one led to a goal. The second one led to a shot block.
She's got the freedom of about 40 yards to choose when she wants to put those crosses in tonight. And she's going to just keep whipping in balls of high quality.
Yeah.
Because she's under absolutely no pressure. Pina over this then. Has short options.
She's got 3 short options.
What is she going to do? Dummies a run up. And then we'll lay it short to Olga Carmona, who waits and gives it back to Claudia Pina. Pina finds Battier on the edge. Now Lopez back to Pina on this right-hand side. Touch wasn't great. And is robbed of possession there by Jessica Silva. Now they'll try and play. Tatiana Pinto. Silva tries a flick over the shoulder. Doesn't work out. Spain throw.
Not there.
Alex says this game is like Liga F Barca versus Levante. Yeah, pretty much. Esther Gonzalez takes it past one. Knocks it past the other 2. Lopez, brilliant movement. Twisting and turning. Lays up a Putellas. And that's just wide. That deserves a goal from Lopez. Brilliant, brilliant play from Vicky Lopez. Thriving in that role with Bonmati not available for selection. Lopez is stepping up big time.
It's exactly what she needs to do. Handed an opportunity to the absence of Aitana Bonmati, and she is playing with absolute class.
Chopping and changing, twisting and turning past defenders. Portugal nowhere near her in this game. And warranted an assist for that one, but Putellas blasting her effort wide. One high at the pitch here by Mariona Caldente. Now Lopez tries to poke it on. Touch isn't great, but it falls to Patrick Gallardo and they can recycle it once again. Battier tries to slot through Caldente. It takes a nick off Amado, but it does find its way there. Back to Battier. Now Gallardo. Caldente now on this right-hand side is brought down. Spain free kick.
Yeah, I don't think that Pinto's realised Portugal playing in their away kit because she just keeps giving it to red shirts. But yeah, it's Spain playing it very, very well here. Caldente just shifts the ball off and gets caught after the ball's gone. And it will be another opportunity from a very wide area for Spain to get this ball into the box and put the Portugal backline under more pressure.
That's the only time tonight Portugal didn't need to foul one of Spain's players.
100%.
It's the first time they've done it.
Again, we speak about the physicality we've seen so far at this tournament. That's what Portugal need to bring. Even if it was over the line, and I'm not saying just go around and kick lumps out of teams, but be strong, be aggressive. If you give away a couple of fouls, so be it. But like, if Vicky Lopez beats 3 people, the 4th player has just got to come and knock her over. Whether they get the ball or whether it's a foul, it shouldn't matter. But you should never let a player just dance around, numerous players without even a challenge.
It's a timid performance from Portugal. Pina hasn't worked out.
I have to say,
blocking it.
I've spent 15 minutes praising Claudia Pina. She's probably Spain's worst player.
Pina trying to find it. And that's seen out well. Portugal now with a goal kick. Well, Donny says, Vamos España. Yeah, they're doing all right. They've made a very fast start to tonight's game. But I agree, Pina Just hasn't had that final touch at the moment.
Yeah, Portugal, they've stayed the ship. You know, we're halfway through now the first 45. They haven't conceded in about 15 minutes. You know, they have just steadied. Obviously, Spain have taken their foot off the gas because they're already 2-0 up.
Yeah.
But Portugal have done well just to steady the ship.
Putas, nice flick on in there. Doesn't quite come off. Norton trying to break away. Vicky Lopez recovers it well. Alexandre. Lopez. We're watching Vicky Lopez really come to her own here.
Oh, she looks absolutely brilliant.
Just gliding around the pitch. A player I've not seen a lot of because I refuse to watch the Liga F. And we haven't really seen her given opportunities in Champions League games yet, but... Well, not a load of opportunities, but really impressive player. Yeah. Thriving in this system tonight. Thriving in the freedom she's given. Just to roam, just to float and pick up the ball where she wants and strike them from range. And that one just past the post. Just picked up the ball. A bag of confidence at the moment is Vicky Lopez. Just picks up the ball, turns towards goal and fires one off from 25 yards out.
Yeah, again, absolutely brilliant. Picks it up, takes it on the turn, drives into space and has a go and wasn't too far away. But again, how can you allow Vicky Lopez to pick it up on the turn? She's under no pressure. She's under no
Probably
pressure.
should open up and go far post there. I think that's probably 3-0 Spain, but can't criticise her too much. That we're watching a 19-year-old play without fear, and we're watching 11 Portuguese players just full of nerves.
Yeah.
And it's been such a timid performance. Trying to carry the ball forwards here. Diana Silva. Now Portugal coming forwards. Into Spain's third for the first time. Silva's cross, though. Not good enough out for a Portugal throw.
Portugal, I think at the moment, will view it as the longer the ball is in Spain's half, it means they can't score.
A lovely touch, by the way, from the Portugal fans. On 20 minutes, they rose and sung Diogo Jota, Ole Ole, in recognition, obviously, of his number 20.
I like that.
That's a nice touch.
I mean, that's a foul. Diana Silva, Carmona has just pushed Diana Silva over, but, you know, we'll ignore that. But, yeah, just... You know, that is a minute. That's another minute gone. There's another couple of minutes that Portugal haven't conceded.
Oh, they're already getting the Mexican wave going. That's how it happens at international friendlies. That is how Spain view this game at the moment. I think. In one image.
So many problems with that.
Foul there on the Portuguese player in the midfield. I think it's Tatiana Pinto. That will be a Portugal free kick. Spain protesting and frustrated by that one. Why?
I don't really know.
Just like, it's a foul. You're leading already, quite convincingly. I don't really see why the complaint comes from.
Yeah.
Portugal now in possession. Ball into the box. Headed on. Doesn't quite come off. Now Diana Silva. Trying to compete there with Mariota Caldente. I like that Silva's trying stuff tonight. It's not quite coming off, but I like that she's trying stuff. Everyone else is playing like they've never played before, and they're just full of nerves. Can't make anything out. At least Silva, while it's not coming off at the moment, and it might be viewed as a bit pointless, is trying stuff.
Yeah.
Pena there goes down on the challenge off the ball.
She was knocked out.
Clearly between her and Fonseca, I think it was. Go Costa. Back now to Inez Pereira, who knocks it out to the left-hand side here with Fatima Pinto. And she has absolutely wellied up the line.
She's Spain's best player. I don't like to knock players, you know, when their team aren't playing well, but and I don't like, you know, you don't want to single individual performances out, but...
Especially when the team has been incredibly poor.
I know.
No, I mean, yeah, she's played bad, but everyone performed.
Yeah, they have.
But yeah, I do agree. Fatima Pinto has struggled a lot tonight.
She doesn't look like she's ever played in a game, you know, in a competitive match before, or a game of this pace and magnitude.
Just given the ball away a few too many times already.
And you've got Mariana Caldente sat there going, "Oh, thank you very much. I'm going to take advantage of every single bit of this."
Out to the right hand side. The other issue is with playing a 3-back is when it becomes a 3-back rather than a 5-back, is that you end up just players getting dragged everywhere. And at the moment, those 3 centre halves are covering everywhere, and it's just there's so many gaps in this team.
Francisco Net is closer to the corner flag than he is his technical area. So where he's going?
Yeah, he's just not in.
Well,
He's just quite obviously not in his technical area. Not even subtle about right on the edge.
No.
He's just stood just outside it,
in front of it and wide of it. Yeah, I'll tell you what. It must be a really boring debut. Not debut, but major Euros debut. Yeah.
I think she'll take it.
I know, but I just think, I want to save. Yeah, Captain Carl must feel the same as well sometimes.
Yeah. Puteas coming forwards, puts it into the box. Gonzalez tries to flick it towards goal. It has come off a Portuguese player there. I think it was Costa intervening. Spain have a corner now.
That's the first time all night that someone's actually stuck close to Gonzalez when she's got into the middle of the penalty area, and she didn't score from it.
Yeah.
It's just if Portugal get the basics right, they'd have done so much better.
Stayed goal side, remained firm, and the captain there dealing with the danger.
Yeah. If Gonzalez takes a touch or does something incredible and beats you, fair enough. But if you give her 5 yards, then a surprise why she scored, just think about it a bit.
Now Spain putting it into the box, headed away by Portugal. Not convincingly. Spain trying to keep it alive. That one headed just clear. Now Diana Silva can drive forwards with the ball. Looking for an option. Plays it into the channel. Good run. Battier does well there just to see off her opponent. Now it's with Norton. Portugal have players forward here. Silva. Needs some support. Has to go backwards.
To be fair, Portugal,
Gomez.
they've settled. They've finally settled down in this game.
Now for Timo Pinto. Pinto hasn't. Another hoof ball. Results in nothing. But she's charged out and say, well, there. Lovely floated ball in behind here for Jessica Silva. Can she pick out a teammate? Tries to cut back. The option wasn't close enough, and now the flag does go up. I don't think it was offside.
No, not sure on that one, but it doesn't matter. It won't matter in the grand scheme of things. But better from Portugal. Oh, yeah, she was just off. But yeah, better from Portugal. They've finally settled into the game. The problem is, it's taken 30 minutes and they're already 2-0 down.
Yeah. But Alex Irene Paredes is out injured. She had a bit of a knock coming into this game, was a doubt to start, and hasn't made the matchday squad. So, evidently out injured. That could have an impact, I think, looking forward at Spain tournament. If I was thinking about the knockouts and they're going with Mendes and Alexandri, I think there is a weakness there that some teams could take advantage of.
There is.
But ultimately, they might just beat everyone
yes,
like this in attacking areas.
Because if Vicky Lopez just keeps dancing around 4 people and then laying it off to Calente and then gives it back and she scores.
Well, that's the other thing. Spain tonight don't have Aitana Bonmati, don't have Catalina Cole, don't have Irene Paredes. Don't look like they're missing a beat.
Scary. Which so scary.
Well, yeah, on one hand speaks about how good they are as a team, but also speaks about how good Vicky Lopez is. That they don't feel the loss of Aitana Bonmati at all.
Mm.
I don't think they'd be doing any better with her in the side.
Yeah,
helps though that they have given Lopez a lot of respect in this game. But yeah. HB says, asking Mariona to have chalk on her boots is horrible platforming on the coach's part. What's that about? Here is Silva. Now Carmona. And Gallardo's gone down there under a challenge from Diana Silva and the Gemma Trescu's given it.
This is so many weird. Again, I think it's just a theme of this tournament.
That's not a foul.
No.
It's a really good tackle.
It's not. And Spain had a couple I just don't think were fouls. And Portugal had a couple I don't think were fouls. Just overall, I thought earlier was alright, to be fair to Desiree Grundbacher.
I think it's been quite stop-start would be my biggest criticism. I don't think that a lot of refs have let the games flow enough.
No.
They're just given too many.
But that's the thing, earlier, at least she was stopping it because she wanted to book people. She wasn't just stopping it for the sake of stopping it.
And that one's not even a foul.
No.
Demetriska gives.
And then someone will get smashed into in a minute and they'll just walk on like nothing's
Pina.
happened.
Ball in. Trying to set it across the box. Can't. God, I'd say, well, let's keep it alive. It's a big problem in the women's game at the moment because there aren't enough female referees that have been trained to a high standard.
No.
We've got the same issue in the WSL. It's a problem across Europe. Like Demetrescu is one of the highest trained ones. She does the Romanian first division in the men's game. But that's not an incredibly high standard of football.
No.
And that is shown in her refereeing. She just gives absolutely everything. A lot of poor decisions. Here is Carmona carrying the ball forwards. Waits the run of Pina, slots her in. Spain coming forwards, clip to the back post. Headed away by Amado, good defending. Caldente will look to keep it alive. Has Battier up in support. She'll dart inside. Lovely ball into Esther Gonzalez. Holds it up, looking for a teammate. Portugal doing really well now because they're forcing Spain backwards.
Yeah.
And that's a really good tackle from Jess Silva. Now they can look to break. Portugal seems to stop there. Amado stopped like it was a foul. Just play.
Yeah. But Heaslip and Kirsty Dowie have been promoted to the EFL. So they'll do
That's
League
good.
1, League 2 and National League. It is good, but
I think Dowie's a good ref. From what I've seen. Not a fan?
What, the Katie Zellum handball, the Everton penalty out,
that one's on the line for me. Dowie didn't have a good view of that.
It'd be interesting to see.
But yeah. I think broadly she's a good ref. Heathcliff's a good ref. She just loves the yellow card.
And we work alongside.
Now don't say towards the back post, headed away. I think it's only a good thing for them to have more experience coaching at that sort of standard for me.
Referee.
Yes, sir. Putas. Lopez. Get into the goal. Big save. Ines Pereira denies. Claudia Pina.
That was the best move of the lot. That one deserved the goal as well.
Tidy.
That was absolute class.
Really good save though. Ines Pereira got across nicely.
Really good stop.
HB says, having Mariona hugging the touchline doesn't bring out the best of her skill set.
It's just the one-touch football. Bang, bang, bang shot. So good.
HB, personally, I think that's a good thing, to play players based on what the tactic and the team needs rather than based on what they're best at. It might not get the most out of Mariona Caldente, but what you do is you create stability in the side. What we've seen too much on the national stage, this is why Spain is successful while other nations aren't, is trying to fit every individual player to what they're best at. You look at Norway.
Yeah.
Norway was bizarre. I mean, their right winger was playing on the left. Their attack midfielder was playing on the right, and their left winger was playing attack midfield. It's all the wrong way round. Doesn't make any sense to me. What they were trying to do, but they won a game. That's the important thing, isn't it? Phil says, the thing is, Mariona can do it, and who do you drop from the middle? Yeah, so you could put her into a central role, and then put Paraluelo on the right wing. I think that takes so much out of this really technically gifted Spain side, just to put in someone who runs down the channels.
Yeah.
And that is all Paraluelo does. Decent ball striker, could deliver across, but compared to the Spain team, I don't think she's of the same level. Really nice move. Pina just need to wrap her foot around it a little bit more. Get it into that far corner. Good shot from Pereira. Really good shot from Ines Pereira.
I still think Spain are playing incredibly well. Just Portugal got better.
Yeah.
And that they'll be so frustrated that they just didn't turn up in the first 10 minutes. Because they're
nervous and Spain weren't at all.
No.
Spain didn't start slow. Lopez, great drive. Leaving players on the floor in her wake. Tries to cut it to the box. No one's there. And then Spain will recycle this ball. Mendes. Puteas. Mendes again. Caldente. Puteas. Caldente.
Better.
The thing about Spain is they don't overplay it. Just notice that with Alexia Puteas in there. So many times we've seen players receive the ball, they'll look to turn, they'll look at where their options are, and then they'll play it back. Puteas has already scanned everything. She knows where everyone is, so she just plays that bounce pass. And she drags a player with her, and that creates space behind her. And it's not, but there isn't time for players to recover into that space because she hasn't taken ages moving the ball around, looking around for options. She already knows where the options are.
It's the technical ability mixed with the intelligence that makes Spain so good. Because that's the thing, you're right. You could have the ability of Puteas, but if you didn't have the mind and the football intelligence, then you wouldn't be half the player she is. Because you'd have to take an extra touch. You'd have to slow moves down. But she's just always... It's like she can visualise where the move's going to go.
That's the thing I think about Putellas. People talk about, brilliant goal scorer, brilliant, attacking player, great skill set, all this. I think her biggest asset is her brain, her movement, her timing, her understanding of the game, her ability to read opponents' movements, and her tactical understanding is so high. And that's one of the most important things. It's why she's able to sometimes you just glide into the penalty area and you don't, you can't understand how she's left in so much space, but she's done that by design.
Yeah.
With her movement. Such an intelligent player.
Big 7 minutes now for Portugal. If they can hold firm until half time, that will be, I'll tell you what, a good recovery, because it looked like there was going to be a hiding. And obviously there's still 45 minutes to go, but it would be a solid showing.
Yeah. Lopez. Now Alexandri. Here's Carmona. Putellas plays it down the line. Pina breaking in behind. Tries to put it into the box, so dealt with there by Costa. Yeah, Portugal played like they have since minute 7. They'd still be 0-0 now.
Yeah, maybe 1-0. Maybe Spain would have got like one of the combinations would have come together, but yeah, at 1-0, there's still they could get something from the game. But obviously, when Spain aren't playing against the side you're supporting, or when Barcelona aren't playing against the side you're supporting, I could just watch them for ages. The way they just move the ball, and also it's never clunky. They never come forward and it's bumping off people. It's like just being poked. Everything is so smooth and deliberate. Just it's really good.
It's a shame this might be the only game we get to see Vicky Lopez in.
Yeah.
She might get 15 minutes at the end of a knockout game or something. But even then, you're not going to take off Bonmatí or Putellas in a knockout game. To be fair, she might play the next game. I don't know where Bonmatí is at with her recovery.
Yeah.
The fact she's on the bench today is a positive sign for her. But she's been magical.
Yeah.
Gonzalez lays it to Lopez. Now Battier. Lopez. Lovely movement. Caldent's out on this right-hand side, waiting for the overlapping run of Ona Battier. Comes inside. Plays it across to Carmona. Tries to slot a pass through, hasn't quite come off. Carmona's really good at two things, and it makes her very effective at times, but others, it's just, she can't contribute in other areas. Like, she's really good at crossing, and she's really good at getting up and down. But her 1v1 defending leaves a lot to be desired. That's a fantastic ball. Putellas in, so composed, and a tidy finish, and that's Spain 3, Portugal 0. Incredible. Just incredible. The lifted ball over the top. Putellas brings it down with a deftness of touches. Composure personified as she just squares up against the Portuguese defender and just shimmies inside, fakes the shot, and starts it past Inés Pereira like there's not a goalkeeper in sight.
Absolutely insane. The ball from Caldente is world class. Absolute class. Just the way she just picks it up and just knocks it over the top to Putellas like it's nobody's business.
Right, just not even breaking a sweat to play that ball.
Oh, what a ball.
And the timing of the ram.
Chests it down, sells the dummy, and just pokes it past Pereira.
Yeah, Spain are in flow state. Spain 3.
Oh, it's just brilliant.
Spain 3. Portugal now.
It's just brilliant. And I said it was a big 7 minutes Portugal because if they could get to half time at 2-0, that's fair enough. To be honest, you can't do much about that. That is pure class from Spain. But again, that shouldn't, Portugal just put themselves in a bad position. Spain took full advantage, but that was just excellence from Spain.
Indeed.
Portugal now really need to get to half time. Desperately.
Lovely football. Gonzalez is in. Can she find a way to goal? Brilliant movement. Falls for Lopez. Trying to shift it to Claudia Pina. Takes it past one or two. Crosses it in. It's off the post and it's in for Gonzalez. Spain 4, Portugal 0. Spain goals in this game coming like London buses. Nothing for half an hour, then 2 in 3 minutes. And again, a quick fire double, and Spain lead this game by 4-0.
I mean, it's unorthodox. It's not the best goal they've scored tonight, but it counts. Peanut with a completely scuffed cross hits the inside of the post at the far corner, and it just falls to Gonzalez, who just has to tap it across the line from a yard out. But Portugal again have just collapsed. It's too easy. They're all over the place. Again, they're panicking. Spain just shuffle it wide. Yeah. Pina, I'm not sure how much she meant to do this. Hits the inside of the post. Just ridiculous.
Just the curl on it.
Yeah.
It is intentional. Just,
oh wow.
Phenomenal. It falls perfectly for Esther Gonzalez. Right place, right time. But wow. Spain 4, Portugal 0. We went 270 minutes of Euros action, seeing 5 goals. And in 45, Spain have 4.
What can you say? What can you say? It is just absurd how good they are. She's on for 2 already. Esther Gonzalez might win the Golden Boot tonight.
I should have had her in fantasy WSL. Well annoyed. Or fantasy World Euro, sorry.
Now Portugal really need half time.
Yeah.
But genuinely, it's like one side has played the first 8 minutes of the half and the last 8 minutes of the half, and then a different team played the rest of it. That's what it's felt like for Portugal. Spain want more.
Lopez, Battier. Good challenge from Amado to stop Spain in their tracks. Caldente will square up to Amado, tries to find a pass through to Diana Silva, cut out by Gallardo. And now Spain can come forwards. Putellas. Alexandri. Mendes. Battier. Lopez, now Caldente. Putellas tries to slot a pass through, but can't. That's a little over aggressive. Yeah. That's been given as foul.
3 minutes. I think it's been the longest 3 minutes of Portugal's evening.
Yeah.
Cannot afford to concede a 5th before half time. Not that it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Goal difference has gone out the window now.
The only thing Portugal can hope is that Spain do this against Belgium and Italy.
Yeah, but
I can't see that happening.
Especially not Italy.
Well, even Belgium, they are a good defensive side.
They are.
When they want to be. Today they just couldn't attack for love nor money.
Pinto again.
Nice from Gonzalez. Needs some support. Here's Sona Battier.
And again, now Portugal being assertive. They've gone back to being the side they were in the middle bit. I really don't know what happens.
Alexandri. Shifts it to Carmona. Putellas. Want to clip a ball in behind, but the option weren't apparent. Mariona Caldente. Now to Carmona. Putellas. Waiting for support. Going all the way back to Mendes. Caldente. They try and knock her off the ball. She walks past them like they're not even there. Feels as I can see them smashing Belgium too. Depends what version of Belgium's sharp. I mean, the Nations League isn't a great indication of how Belgium will get on, but I can see them at least holding on a little bit longer.
I don't think either of the other two sides will be falling down at half time.
No,
I really don't.
It says Portugal midfield non-existent. Yep, couldn't agree more.
The only promising bits has been when they've managed to get the ball to the Silvers.
Yeah, I think the midfield look better when they've come forwards. They've progressed the ball nicely, but when they're attacking, when Spain come forwards, they're just not being aggressive or assertive enough. The backline's been awful. Perez made a few decent saves, and to be fair, I can't really fault her. Probably could have done more about the second one if she commanded a backline better. Pounce maybe on the ball that came across the 6-yard box. But overall, I can't really put too much blame on her. The backline's just been too weak. The team's been too passive as a whole. ultimately, it's difficult. Have Portugal been poor? Yes, but have Spain been just ridiculously good? Yeah, also. So you can't really judge them off just this game.
What can you do when you're already 2 down to Spain and then Mario Calente just casually plays a 30-yard crossfield pass, which Alexis Putellas plucks down perfectly and slots it home?
Indeed, and that is our time whistle. Spain 4, Portugal 0. 2 for Esther Gonzalez, a goal for Vicky Lopez, and a goal for Alexia Putellas. Spain have run riot here in Bern, and Portugal, wow, they've been burnt.
Yeah, they've crashed and burned, was going to be my one. But yeah, I think that what Spain have done is they were just consistently excellent throughout the whole half. Portugal looked like an under 10 side for the first 8 minutes. They looked like an under 10 side for the last 8 minutes of the half. And the in between, they looked like they looked like a coherent football team, and they played well. They didn't concede for that 30-minute period really, and they looked pretty strong. They played well. They were assertive. They were aggressive. For the 8 minutes either side the half, they were absolutely shocking.
Yeah,
genuinely looked like a completely different football team. They looked like a bunch of amateurs, and I don't mean to be insulting, but that is genuinely what it looked like. That they put 11 mannequins out, and Spain were just playing balls over the top and having fun. A mannequin would have defended better for the first goal, because at least Esther Gonzalez would have ran into a metal body when she tried to flick it around the corner, and that might have prevented her from scoring. Instead, I mean, Pinto was looking up the sky, wondering when the ball
that
would
one
come.
Pereira could have done more about, actually, now thinking back to it. Really placid goalkeeping. Let's have a look at some stats, because that's always fun. Spain 72% possession so far in this game. Portugal have not touched the ball. They completed 3 times as many passes as Portugal have. 2.86 expected goals to 0.07. 12 shots to 2. 7 shots on target to none. 4 big chances to none. All of which were finished off for Spain. Just the definition of clinical. Utterly ridiculous performance, really.
Yeah. It's one of those where, it's not even like sometimes you look at it and go, should Spain have scored 4? And you could probably say, Portugal, they could,
maybe they're a bit lucky here, or that's a nice bubble, but that hasn't happened.
Yeah, the chance, it's not like Putellas or someone's just picked it up from 25 yards and just kept snapping it in the top corner. They've created brilliant chances. 2 of them, of Vicky Lopez's was an open goal, Esther Gonzalez's was an open goal, but that's not because they got fortunate, it's because the chances were so good, they managed to get that close to Portugal's penalty area. How? I have no idea, and Portugal need to look at that. But just absolute brilliance from Spain. I think the 3rd goal Portugal couldn't have done much about, because that was just world-class football all round. But the other 3, they have to do better. Yeah. And I think they'll be disappointed, because as I said, for the majority of the half, they represented a professional football team. For the rest of it, they just looked like they'd never played football together before. And that would be really, really frustrating.
It was just remarkably disjointed, dejected. I don't think Portugal were up for it from the first minute. There's no belief there. They just looked devoid of confidence coming into this game, and they've played like that for the last 45 minutes, really. There's a period in the middle of the game where Spain took their foot off the gas and Portugal started to come forwards a little bit more, but I haven't got anything positive to say about Portugal, and that is the most damning indictment of this game. Spain, I've run out of superlatives at this point. I don't know what I'm going to say if they score again. I might just sit here in silence and applaud, because that at the moment is how well they're playing. Just been ridiculously good. Alex says England also won 6-0 against Portugal. I agree, England are also brilliant, but this isn't a competitive tournament. This is ridiculous. We shouldn't see this. Portugal aren't a side who won a competition to be here. They came through the qualifiers. Yeah. They are here on merit, but they are not even competing with Spain at the moment. Rilano, welcome to the stream, says, will there be 2 goals in the second half? I'll be surprised if there aren't, to be honest. And that's
the problem, is that, yes, England beat them 6-0, but who says this isn't going to be 8-0? They've scored 4 in one half. Why can't they score 4 in another?
I can't say it personally, I think surely 6 is the max.
What, and Spain just get bored?
Well, I just can't. I think Portugal eventually have to start just kicking the ball out of play.
Well, because then this is a scenario that they've put themselves in. is what on earth does Francisco Neto say now? What do they do in the second half? They can't.
See you Monday.
Yeah,
Right.
if they go more defensive, Spain will just sit on them.
Yeah.
If they go for the game, Spain will just get in behind them. What can you do? They've put themselves in this situation where Portugal just there's nothing they can do. I hate to say that as a football team, but it's just they've got nothing. They've got absolutely nothing that they can offer now that is going to change the result of this game.
News says Mariona is surely Ballon d'Or bound, generational player. I agree she should win it. She will not win it. I just can't see it happening. There's no chance Mariona Canete wins the Ballon d'Or because it's a popularity contest, quite frankly. I hate the Ballon d'Or for that reason. Yeah, she won the Champions League. If they go on to win the Euro, she'd 100% deserve it. But if Spain win the European Championships, Alexa Putellas will win this Ballon d'Or because she's the more marketable player.
Sorry, I've just watched.
That's the back of the Gonzalez goal.
But how in a professional competition can you look up in the air and not realise where the ball's gone?
Yeah, I don't put as much blame for Timo Pinto as I do on Gomez, the right centre half, who stepped back.
Yeah,
and rolled her on the side. Because Pinto and Costa held their line well. It was Gomez, the right centre half, who dropped off for no real reason.
And then my problems come with the second and the fourth is how Portugal allowed Spain to wriggle out of this one. Because they win the ball back, they block the initial shot, but then they just sit there and watch Vicky Lopez rework both goals.
You can see it there. It's a half tackle from the number 6 for Portugal. Name escapes me now. It's Jacinto in there. Makes a tackle, but it's not firm enough. So it just goes to Pinto. Pinto keeps running with it, and just clips the ball towards the back post. It comes off the post and falls perfectly at the feet of Esther Gonzalez, who licked her lips. So thank you very much, and slotted it in.
But this is my thing, and I just think that I don't encourage being a rough team or dirty team or fouling people. But surely after a while of watching Spain just knock the ball around, take the yellow card and just go and smash into somebody. It's just not. Again, I'm not saying go break someone's leg or anything, but just be a bit aggressive. Yeah. And if you foul them, you foul them. So what? At least you stop them just from.
You want a bit of grit. You want a bit of fight. We haven't seen that at all in this game. We've seen Vicky Lopez dancing around players like they're mannequins in training. I've never seen.
Might make them feel better.
Yeah.
Just put a big tackle in. If you get the ball, great tackle. Go celebrate it. If you don't get the ball, go celebrate it. It's just no aggression. There's been no fight from Portugal.
This isn't a bad Portugal side. They have been made to look ridiculous in this first half.
Yeah.
Because they've not come out with any belief they could win it, and Spain have played ridiculously well.
And I've watched the qualifiers, and there were sides who lost in that playoff that played better than Portugal are right now. And that's what frustrates me, is they've earned the right to be here, they've qualified to get here, so don't turn up and fanny around. Turn up and put a fight on. And I know they've still got 2 group games to go and they can still get through, but tonight, even if they get through, shocking, because they've just put no fight. And I'm not saying that Czech Republic or Slovenia wouldn't be 4-0 down right now, but at least they might have had a bit of character in the performance.
Fast Flag says Portugal should have given away their invitation. Alex says with UWCL, Mariona can win it over Alexa in my books. Yeah, your books though aren't who decides the Ballon d'Or, unfortunately, Alex. It'll be the journalists at France Football who are just famously useless. So I could tell you now it's going to be Putellas if England win it. The only chance we have of someone other than Putellas winning it is if England win it and somehow Russo gets it, but even then, I think it'll probably still go to Putellas. So,
which is crazy.
But just the Ballon d'Or's always been pointless. You just look through history and it's just a popularity contest. So, yeah, I don't attribute too much attention to it. News said, how much of this is Monza Tomé excellence and how much is the team? Has the coach convinced you yet? Not at all. It's good management to play a very good team in a very simple structure. They're playing incredibly well.
I couldn't have done it.
What?
I couldn't have done it. Spain wouldn't be fun.
Well, it depends. If you just said Spain, go and play like you do every week for Barcelona, then they'd have gone, okay, and then they've gone and won the game.
Yeah.
If you'd gone, well, I've got this tactic actually, guys.
Imagine I walked in there and tried to tell Spain
Hi,
to play
guys.
football.
I've got a plan.
5-4-1.
But yeah, we haven't seen her do anything mental yet. When the coaches earn respect and how they earn their wages is how they react and how they respond in big match situations. What we saw at last summer's Olympics is that she didn't react. She didn't respond when they were losing, when they were struggling. So now the question is, does she have those answers? When questions are asked to Spain, does Tommy have solutions to solve them? That won't come in the group stage because there's no one in the group stage that even remotely tests them. It's probably not going to come in the quarterfinals because Norway and Switzerland won't test them. When they get to semis and they're playing a France, or they're playing in England, when they get to the final and they're playing something like France, England, Germany, that's when there's going to be a big test of Spain and Tommy. Can Tommy react? Can she respond to whatever the other sides throw at them if Spain are in a position where they're losing? How does she respond to that live match situation? Because at the moment, we've not seen that yet from Tommy. So yeah, she's doing the job, which is, what's required of her at this point. She's put a very good team in a simple structure, and that is working. She could have tried to overcomplicate it. That wouldn't have been particularly good. So she's done well. International football, you want to just have a simple structure that works. Bit of tactical nuance here and there is fine, but nothing too complicated. So yeah, overall she's doing well. But the question I have of Tommy is can she respond? Does she have the tools in her arsenal, if Spain are behind, to change something up and make a difference in a game? That is my big question at the moment. But other than that, she's an adequate manager.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful that I think that you don't fall into that. Like Gareth Southgate for me is the perfect example of a manager who did very well at putting a good 11 out there, motivating the players, and doing something at tournaments. But when you got to when England played against the best sides in the world, where the manager made a difference, they lost out in those games. And yeah, exactly. That was the best example of it was this afternoon with Italy. In the first half, Andrea Sonchin let the quality of his team go out and win the game. He let Caruso go on there and score. And then the second half, when it came down to managing the game, when it came down to the substitutions, he got it spot on.
They went a bit more defensive at the start of the half. They made life difficult for Belgium, and they got the subs.
And that's why they won the game. Yeah. In the first half, the players did the job. In the second half, the manager made the difference. And that was the perfect example for me of how you need both sides to do well in a tournament and to win football matches.
Alex still don't get it why Mappy doesn't make a comeback. Leon has made it quite clear she doesn't have any interest in playing for Spain. I think the relationship between her and RFEF, which is the Spanish Football Federation, is at a point of no return, really. Multitude of factors, obviously the whole Vilda situation, then the whole Rubiales situation hasn't helped things, and then I think there's a pay dispute as well with the national side as well. So it's an endless list of problems, and I don't really see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah, again, Spain, brilliant football team, but the RFEF are so bad.
We think the FA have issues. The RFEF,
the controversy, the corruption, especially in the men in the La Liga. I'm not sure, we don't see it too much in the Liga F yet, but I'm sure it might get there at one point. But yeah, honestly,
we don't need corruption. Barcelona, it's 8-0. Oh, how can you be corrupt?
Levante could try and pay the RFBF, but it wouldn't work.
Yeah, they can't score for them.
But yeah, it's that. Chinese is personal preference, and to be fair, I don't really blame her. To be completely honest,
yeah,
it's a shambles. That the RFBF is a shambles.
Yeah, I do think there's a bit of a problem in the women's game at the moment, and it's not too bad, but I think there is too much of. It's become there's a lot of politics at the moment in the women's international football. In the men's game, to play for your nation is a pride and is an honour, and I think there's too many players in the women's game who think they just should be in the women's team. Feel like they deserve to be in there, and I think we saw that with England when Bright and Earps both pulled out of England duty because they weren't going to start. I thought that really showed a bit of entitlement that you I must start for my country if I'm not even going to show up. That's doesn't cut it for me. It should be an honour to play for your national team. So even be in the squad for your national team, it should be an honour. So yeah, I think that is a bit of a problem. But with Leon, I understand the situation. It's really just a lot of tension between her and RFEF makes it difficult for her to play for Spain. But yeah. Personally, I'd put that behind me because it's for my nation, but I understand if that is something that's more important to her.
One player who is taking a lot of pride in getting a start tonight is Vicky Lopez.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely brilliant. Genuinely, speaking, we We say this at a lot of club football when a starter gets injured and it presents the backup player to get an opportunity to shine, that they have to take it with both hands. And Vicky Lopez has done that tonight. In the absence of Bon Mati, Vicky Lopez has stepped up and performed to the highest degree.
I think that's a change going for Spain, by the way.
That was Claudia Pina coming off.
Cut back to the studio.
I'm
For some
furious.
reason. So that is Athenia coming on and Pina coming off.
To be honest, I understand it. I think a little bit.
Yeah.
Pina played okay. Wasn't brilliant, and at the end of the day,
Why not rest her?
you're 4-0 up. Yes, you might as well rest her up and give it a good opportunity for a thing.
Anna Borges is coming on, and they're putting her in a Batman mask to try and scare the opposition.
Here we go. Comebacks on.
Nisha, what's the name of the English commentator always doing his commentary? I'm not sure who's on tonight. It can't be Sam Matterface then.
Seb Hutchinson.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, it's not Sam Matterface.
That's all I can tell you. You're enjoying his commentary. It can't be Sam Matterface.
I think it's. I want to say it's Seb Hutchinson and Emma Byrne. Emma Byrne's all right when she's not watching Arsenal.
I think that's true for every
That is,
pundit
Lee
in
Dixon,
the women's game.
Alan Smith,
and the men's game.
and not this is sorry. It's not. That makes it sound like it's an Arsenal problem. It's not just an Arsenal problem. It's a little bit of an Arsenal problem.
Like the zone this season was painful.
What, Leanne Sanderson just running around celebrating. I get you.
It's not United's got the same problem, to be fair. It's
Yeah.
Rio on TNT. It's
Just
impossible.
rein it in. Anyway.
Yeah.
We've got 45 minutes of football.
And before people call us hypocrites, we're not on the main feed for the game.
If I was on ITV, I would run around cheering when England score. I'd be happy.
It depends what you do. If you're not live, if you're like a pundit,
Yeah.
If you're on the comms, I wouldn't be.
Main commentators saying England scored, and you just hear me in the back, and I go, yeah.
Limbs.
Crowd
Lord
surfing.
yourself down. Spain have got us back underway for the second half. So yeah, Pina off, Athenia on.
I like that from Tom, eh?
Yeah.
Giving an opportunity to Athenia to come involved, get in the setup, get 45 minutes under her belt.
No change as well for Portugal. Jacinto coming off. She looked fairly placid in midfield. Anna Seca coming on in her place. And then it's Anna Borges coming onto the right-hand side to replace, again, a fairly poor performance from Fonseca.
It's all about positives now for Portugal. Try and win the second half.
Find one.
Try and draw the second half.
Good interception, but then gives the ball back. Here's Mariona Caldente darting inside. Oh, sorry, Caldente and Athenia have swapped sides, by the way.
Yes.
Caldente to the right-hand side. Chance now for Puteas, receiving it in the box, just wide of the mark.
Now, that was very close to miss that, but how easy was that?
Yeah.
That one's good football from Spain again, but that was more Portugal just not defending.
Yeah.
No one follows the 1-2 here. The ball goes into Puteas, and no one stops her shooting. There's a player on her back, but it doesn't matter if she's on her back because the goal's to her side. So you're basically just showing her where the goal is. Portugal need to get it right in this second half. Because if they lose this game 5-0 and they lose the second half 1-0, fair enough.
Yeah, that's Spain's tally to 13 shots to the game compared to a measly 2 for Portugal.
I don't remember those two.
Just trying to think back to the first half.
That happens though, so that's something. Puteas on a brilliant charge. Halted. And goes to Caldente.
Now Carmona. Puteas can drive inside. I felt like she could have used the space there vacated by Caldente. There's more to drive inside. Trying to force the ball back to Mariona Caldente and loses it. Strong header from Mendes. Sesa gets up well. Can't deal with it. Good defending there from Gomez under pressure from Esther Gonzalez. Good win back there from Alexandri. Nice pass into Caldente. Caldente opts to go back to Alexandri. Tries to go back down the line, but that's a little rushed. And Caldente caught there with the ball on the foot, and she is in some pain, but she'll be all right to continue.
Love that. Doesn't sit on the floor and roll around for 30 seconds. Just gets up and gets on with it. Yeah, you've been hit on the ankle. Who cares? Get on with it. Love that. Really like that. Good. That's a good mentality, that, from Caldente.
Yeah. Ball long into Silva. Can't quite get it under her control. Feel for Jessica Silva tonight. What can you do with such little service? I think at times she's trying to overplay, admittedly. But she's got no support often
No.
up there. And she's had about 5 touches of the football in the attacking third, so I can't really put too much blame on her tonight.
Not at all.
Stats don't reflect kindly on her because she's not really been able to get involved in the game, but I don't know what more she could have done. They will now try and break away here, though. It's a ball in behind for Silva. A little bit wide.
No.
Probably shouldn't have tried to do that, though. And a shot. It's going to roll out slowly for a corner.
You haven't had much of the ball in Spain's half. Someone plays you through. You're one-on-one with Mendes, and she's tried to lob the goal kick from 40 yards out. Yeah. Well, just... Portugal's decision-making is absolutely
She had the
killed them
pace to
tonight.
get past Alexandra then. Well, she would have been wide of the goal. She could have at least got a shot on target.
Yeah, even if she went up another 20 yards and then missed, at least she's close to the goal.
Yeah. Gomez tries to play a pass forward. Sesa brings down Vicky Lopez in there.
Vicky Lopez just seems to play football at a quicker pace than anyone else. Well, obviously other Spain players are playing at the same pace, but just everything she does, the touches, the releasing the ball, just seems to be half a second quicker than everybody else.
They physically cannot keep up with her at the moment.
No.
Portugal. They're just a minute off everything they're doing. Here's Mendes. Now Vicky Lopez shifts it onto Onabatier. Mendes. Lopez. Lovely switch to the play into Olga Carmona, whose touch wasn't great, but she uses it well. Now Putellas tries to slot in Gonzalez. Holds the ball up nicely. Putellas. Carmona shifts it wide. That's over here. Cardense fights to keep it on. Knocks out for a throw rather than a goal kick. That's my problem with Olga Carmona. It says, please score 2 goals for me, Portugal, so that I get my score prediction correct. Yes. You're asking a lot there, Amir, admittedly. Diana Gomez hit with the throw. Finds Jana Silva flicked on. Falls to Vicky Lopez, though.
Yeah, Spain just managing it nicely. They're moving the ball around.
Jess Silva picking up on that ball. Looking to take on Alexandri. Gets wiped out there. Surely that's got to be a card, and it will be. Elena Demetrescu reaches for a pocket and see a card for Leia Alexandri.
Who is pretty accepting of the fact.
Yeah, she could let him have that one.
Yeah.
Brilliant from Jessica Silva here to burst down the line. Alexandri just wiped her out. Tactical foul. Was it needed? Probably not.
But
there you go. Alexandra on a yellow.
Jess Silva, I feel for her because she looks a class above the rest of her teammates.
Yeah.
Stole a few yards there, Anna Borges, under the guidance of her manager.
Yeah, Alexandra now a yellow away from suspension. It's 2 right in this.
I can't remember. It's 2 or 3. That's a good ball. Ooh. That's a bit of a contentious one.
Say, the goalkeeper there has just come out and hit Pinto in the face.
I think VAR will be interested in that one.
I was going to say, didn't get the ball, I don't think.
But even if she's got the ball, if she's punched the player in the face, I think it'll be interesting to see if she does get the ball or not. Yeah, they're going to have a look at it.
Surely for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have a little look at this one. I think she did. I think she just. I mean, I'd love to see a replay.
Demetrescu's got to take control of the situation because she's got Spain and Portugal players coming around and she's just telling them to go away. But then they just kept coming to talk to her.
I don't think it's being checked anymore. I have no idea.
Well, I think a fourth was just confirming there to Neto that they either checked it or are checking it. Surely they've got to be looking at this.
I mean, I just want to see a replay.
Good luck.
But even if this isn't given, it shows what can happen in football. You get, but Jess Silver gets one burst away, wins one free kick, they put it in the box, and they have one opportunity, and they could have won a penalty. I'm not saying they have one, but because even they don't. But that's how simple football can be sometimes, and that's why Portugal will be annoyed they've let this game run away from them.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a replay until we know obviously the player is all right. Caught in the face there in the aerial collision. Looked like it was Nan Claves. Well, Nan Claves, sorry, but Nan Claves, yeah. But yeah, no, we've not seen a replay, so I can't really judge if that should have been a pen or not.
No. Why are all the ball boys and girls wearing Italy kits? They're not. They're just in blue, like full blue kit. I don't know why.
Oh, I've seen a lot of them in blue tops, yellow shorts, which I didn't get.
They're the mascots. That's for Ukraine.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, the ball girl and ball boys are just like in Adidas, full blue Adidas strips. It's like stick a badge, They're a bit Italian.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was confused by the blue and yellow. Thanks for the clarification. Because I just thought, why is it not red for Switzerland or purple for Euros?
Yeah, a bit of concern here. Oh,
The player is back to her feet.
Yeah.
So we get to see a replay now.
Yeah, she's going to That's Fatima Pinto. Not been her night.
No.
Not been her night. Let's just say that.
From it.
Not been her night. Here we go.
Say.
Oh no, there's enough contact. I don't think she actually caught it with her hand.
No, she punches the ball away and just knees her in the air.
Oh no, she catches her with the arm.
elbow.
Yeah, the elbow. But I don't think it's. Yeah, it's not.
It's not going to get given.
No, it's not. I don't think it's a penalty.
She's got quite a dent in her forehead there. Is Trent still checking it? Or she just fallen asleep there?
She was bored. Be fair with you, would you not be?
Alex has just watched replay. Adriana first cleared the ball, then hit the player.
Yeah,
that wouldn't matter if it was the hands, but yeah.
If she'd come through the ball and just punched her 2 hand in the face. But yeah, no, just caught her at the bottom of her elbow. There's nothing in it.
It'd have been given up the other end, but that's a matter for another day. Here's Silva.
No. Oh,
Diana Silva. Jessica Silva definitely got caught there.
Flopping around. But she did flop the way she flopped around like a goldfish on just out of water. Well, by this point, in the first half, Portugal conceded 2 goals.
Yeah.
Not been a terrible start to the second half for the Portuguese.
No, not at all. Yeah, Spain coming forwards now. By the way, if you're enjoying the show and haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please make sure to do so. We're closing in now on 4,000 subscribers, less than 10 away now from hitting that milestone. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Help support the show. If you are enjoying it. 34 minutes to go in this game, then Portugal have a free kick now and a chance to try and move this ball forwards.
Yeah, they've just got to keep doing what they're doing. I think they've looked pretty bright in the second half. I mean, they've been in Spain's penalty area more in the first 10 minutes of the second half than they were for the whole of the first half. So, yeah, that's a start. But this is disgusting. Even if they don't, obviously they're not going to win this game now, bar some miracle. And even if they still concede, what they need to is just have a positive half where they can take a bit of belief and momentum. Why am I saying anything?
Lopez wins it back, looking to try and find Mariana Caldente. And that is blocked. Comes a Portugal player out for a corner. I said that at half time, I can't see Portugal losing by any more than 6, and Spain haven't scored yet in the first 12 minutes of this half. By this point in the first half, they were 2-0 up. So, yeah. Spain have dialed down the performance a notch. Portugal showed up a little bit.
Yeah, Portugal need to take some positives going into the rest of the tournament. Because realistically, they now they can't lose.
That's a really bad corner.
Things I say they can't lose, but if Belgium and Italy both lose to Spain, then suddenly they're all in the same position.
But the difference is, Portugal and Italy, I just don't see. Portugal would have to beat them. I could see them drawing, and then it comes down to goal difference. In which case, I don't think Italy are going to lose by 4-0.
No. And because of the way the fixtures are forced, if you're comparing Portugal and Italy, Portugal now have to go beat Belgium as well, which they may not do. They lost 3-0 to them a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly. And Belgium looked pretty decent, at least in the first half today. And then
the second half
didn't really come forward in the second half.
Yeah.
Couldn't. But yeah.
That's the thing. This game for Portugal tells us nothing about how Portugal will fare against the other two sides. Because this performance is a completely different game, completely different style. Why are we doing the Mexican wave again? Oh my days.
I think they should find supporters that are doing that and ban them.
Imagine you're sat there watching a
Mexican
Euros game and thousands of people in front of you just stand up. Honestly, that would annoy me.
Don't like Mexican waves in football,
No.
I have to say. Is it an international friend I can get? Well, yeah, I can deal with it. But not in a game like this.
It's not a sport where you're there for 6 hours and it's just something fun to do every now and again to get people up on their feet, you know, a bit of fun.
Cricket. I mean,
You know, it's not exactly. It's not it's not a chill, kind of cool fun. This is a European Championship group game, and people are messing about. No, it just frustrates me.
You are a bit old man shouts at cloud sometimes. Look at those hoodlums. What are they doing? The Mexican way.
No, it's just
They're not even Mexican. It's Lopez.
Yeah, Spain, Portugal, with the Euros.
Here's Olga Carmona. And that pass back from Patrick Gallardo into Nanclares. As we approach the hour mark here, Spain to find a goal in this second half. Portugal remaining.
They go struggle.
Yeah.
Spain are in trouble for the rest of the tournament. No, well played by Portugal. And Spain, they're just having a bit of fun, aren't they?
Coming inside, Putellas holds onto the ball well. Now Carmona chops inside, back to Putellas, takes a touch, takes a turn. Caldente tries to poke one through. Now Carmona. Borges are trying to give away a penalty, and that will be a corner.
Twice Anna Borges saw Olga on the ball and just slid in straight at her, and she's lucky that Carmona jumped over her both times. Why on earth is she diving in like that? Just flies in there, and I'll tell you what, she's so lucky not to give away a penalty. So lucky.
Got the ball. Good job. Nailed it. Vicky Lopez over this one then. And I think Coldplay coming out. Headed away.
I
get
that Spain are 4-0 up, but why are we doing a light show? No, but it just frustrates. It's not a charity game. It's not soccer aid. It's a competitive foot.
Even if it was.
If I was Portugal, if I was playing on that field, I'd be insulted that the people who have paid to come watch me play. The people that have paid to come watch me play are shining lights and doing Mexican waves.
Yeah.
I'd be frustrated. I'd really annoy me.
Oh yeah, I get your point. But that is the mood ready for Spain, isn't it? This game's won. And we've still got half an hour to play.
I like the fact Tom used the red pen to do her tactics.
Yeah.
That's good.
Glad we know what's allowed and what's not. Borges break now the right hand side. Anna Silva holds onto the ball nicely. Can she bring others into the game? Finds Pinto. That's a lovely move from Portugal to move the ball from right to left. Amado now coming forwards for Portugal. A goal could be really important for goal difference at this stage. Amado still running forwards for Portugal. Battier stands her up. Amado just never made a decision there.
No, just thought I'm just going to keep running. But yeah, it was a good drive. And again, another positive sign for Portugal. Another positive sign. But yeah, just needed to either shoot or pass it or just kick it, to be honest, in the general direction of the goal. Instead, she kind of ran herself down a rabbit hole.
Putellas. Caldente skips past the road challenge of Ana Borges, who's coming in for more. Caldente. Not sure if Neto's given her the instruction just to scythe everyone down, or...
She's not got the facial injury. She put the mask on to protect herself when she goes flying in.
It wasn't me, Rip. It was someone else.
Yeah. She put on the Antonio Rudiger mask and just flying in left, right, centre. Like, a very decent 18, 20 minutes here from Portugal. But again, this is what we saw in the first half from Portugal. In that middle period.
Yeah.
Between the two sets of goals.
Between the bouts of capitulation.
Yes.
And competence. Battier, cross blocked. Look to rework it. Nathaniel. Pass inside into Lopez. Looks to turn. Can she fire a shot away? Pokes one through. Falls back for Lopez. Tries to wriggle through players. Does so successfully. Tries to overplay in there ultimately. But
how easy
don't
is
mind
that?
that kind of expression.
She just makes it look so easy.
Yeah. And Portugal, it's pinballing around. Now Jess Silver. Lovely composure.
She just has no support.
Can she drag the ball forward?
Either she's got to go backwards
back
there
somewhere.
or try and drive a 1-on-4.
Yeah. This is nice football from Portugal. Work it into Diana Silva now, who can run at them. Needs some support. There is options on the right-hand side if she can pick out Ana Borges. Does so. Absolutely fired at her, though. Shot now from range. Takes a nick off a Spain defender. But now Claros gets it across there well.
It's another shot. Good drive from Diana Silva. And again, more positives for Portugal. Spain bringing on a double change now, though. That is Paraluelo coming on. I didn't quite see who the other player was.
Yeah.
Not coming on yet, though. But yeah, Portugal, it's not been a bad period. They've just got to make sure that when these subs come for Spain, that they don't then just capitulate again because Spain bring fresh legs on. Look at that. Gallardo's played a misplaced pass, but Athena still gets there and just keeps the move going like nothing's happened.
Olga Carmona. Now into Mariona Caldente, who looks to come inside into Putas, who turns too easily. Gonzalez, who is forced back there, now out wide to Castillo. And it's blocked out for a corner. It's lovely stuff from Spain. Just toying with their food at this point.
Yeah. Gonzalez won that hat-trick.
And a double change now coming for Spain. Yeah, it's going to be Salma Paraluelo. That's one of the subs. And the other one, I believe,
Yana
is
Rodriguez, right?
Yana Fernandez.
Fernandez, that's the one.
On for Ona Battier. So she'll go in and do a job at right back. And Esther Gonzalez, with a brace to her name, makes her way off the field for Salma Paraluelo.
No hat-trick for Gonzalez. Paraluelo through the middle then. 24 to play. Oh, corner's not going to be taken again. Yeah. Damacheski not happy between Puteas. Alexandri in there, Pinto in there, bit of shoving going on.
Ball in towards the near post. Going to keep it alive.
I was just confused how Mendes was allowed to just bring that down in Portugal's penalty area under no challenge.
I was trying to work out who it was that height of the field.
Yeah.
It's Carmona. Picks out Caldente. Now Puteas.
Flags up on Caldente.
Caldente just offside. They're much more flag happy in this game rather than letting things go to VAR.
Well, they backed themselves clearly.
Over that, they forgot to switch VAR on or something. Jessica Silva making her way off the field. She's frustrated.
She's back from injuries and they want to rest her up for the more important games now. But she has been their best player by a country mile.
It'll be Anna Capeta going on up front.
Yeah, tough one tonight for Portugal, but it has been a decent second half so far. Still 23 minutes to go though.
Yeah, indeed.
Capeta's immediately offside. Good start to the night.
Alexandri. Now Olga Carmona slides it into Paraluelo. Her touch is poor. That's how to play. But yeah. Right idea, Carmona. Trying to play that ball in behind quickly to Paraluelo. But Ford just couldn't quite adjust her feet there to receive the pass. And now Portugal look to play out from the back. Oh no, they won't. Give it up on that at this point.
Yeah.
Just launching it. Inés Pereira. Send it forwards. met with a Spain head, but Portugal now can play from that. Silva, Borges takes it past one, loses it to Caldente, and now Spain are back in possession. Alexandri. Now Nanclares. Here's Mendes. And now Vicky Lopez. Mendes. Across to Alexandri. Caldente slides in Selma Paraluelo and is possessed there well by Ana Borges.
Yeah, again, just good foot up from Spain. It's the way that a side can look so good even when they take their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Like, they're probably playing at 70-80% of their full potential at the moment, and they just still look incredibly strong. Vicky Lopez is still just dancing around people. Putellas is running the show in that midfield.
Here's Lopez. Swings the ball in towards the far post. Cleared away by Portugal. Yana Fernandez, though, unopposed, will recover the ball. And Castillo, they're looking to take on Amato. Amato does really well to stand her up, and then Castillo runs herself out of road. So 20 minutes then to play. Or we're approaching it anyway. Portugal done much better in the second half. They've kept Spain quiet. Made life difficult for them. But ultimately, the result has been decided since the 7th minute. Spain now with a throw-in on the far side. Throwing into the penalty area. Nice control there from Paraluelo, deemed to be a little too aggressive.
Yeah, just
Proud against Paraluelo.
tugging on the shorts of the Portuguese defender there. Portuguese fans still in full voice, credit to them. They've come in their numbers tonight, made a lot of noise, and cheered their team on despite the result and the performance. And Portugal are readying more changes just to come freshen up the side and keep the energy high for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Safar says Vicky's much better in midfield. Pere's right wing experiment hasn't worked. No, I think she's been excellent in midfield. She's been able to use the freedom that Portugal have given her in there. I think the only problem for Barcelona is if they play against more physical sides, and the problem Spain would have later in this tournament is that she may be out-muscled in there.
Yeah.
It's helped that Portugal haven't really offered any sort of battle in there tonight. But, yeah. Very, very talented player. We've seen that today. And now Spain will look to come forwards. Castillo gives it to Putellas. Now what can she create? Takes it past one. Slots it inside. Paraluelo tries to turn. Loses the ball. And Portugal can clear it away. Noticeably less threat from the forward player without Gonzalez. Huge credit to how good she was. They just don't have that same sort of presence up front now. Safar says she's also good on the left. Vicky. Yeah, Lopez. Imagine so can inside. Jagadish Bahara welcome to the stream, says 7-0. That's a fairly optimistic prediction at this stage in the game. I don't think Spain are playing at 100 miles an hour anymore. They've taken their foot off the gas somewhat. Norton coming off. And it's Dolores Silva to come on. Now I realised they were no longer meeting their quota of at least 2 Silvers on the pitch. So on comes Dolores.
Yeah, again, I don't mind this for Neto, just cycling through the squad, giving everyone minutes.
I think they'd have wanted to try and get Nazareth on though, in this game.
Yes, they would have.
Clearly a sign she's not there with her fitness yet, and that will be detrimental.
Yeah.
Really, to their chances next time out when they face Italy on Monday. Make sure to join us for that. Make sure to join us for all of the upcoming Euros games. Remember, we are covering every single match of this tournament live on this channel. We'll be back tomorrow from 4:45 to watch Sweden take on Denmark, and what's sure to be a very interesting game.
And then watch Germany Probably beat
Probably quite
Poland.
similar to this.
Yeah.
Or at least Germany will hope it's quite similar to this.
Yeah, Poland have got a bit of a point to prove, you feel, and they have got Payor. So they might score.
Yeah, well, Jessica Silva plays for Portugal, but
Yeah, but Payor's like the Nazareth.
what? Yeah, but Pale, you've got to get her into the right position. She's not going to
That is
carry the ball from midfield like
yes.
this.
And to be fair, to give Portugal credit, yes, Spain have taken their foot off the gas, but much better second half than the Portuguese.
Yeah.
Because this very much looked like it was going to get out of hand at half time. Because it really could have been more.
So Portugal with a free kick here at the pitch. Anna Borges over this one. So can she look to make something happen here? Options queuing up at the far post. Borges waiting for the ref's confirmation.
Just got to, mate, don't overhit it. Put it in the danger zone and hope that a Turk, I don't know, mint green shirt can get on the end of it.
Not a bad ball at all. Just cleared away though by Spain. Well met there in the air by Yana Fernandez, I believe it was. Good ball in behind Capeta. Is she onside? It doesn't matter. She can't quite find the finish.
Probably should look to flick it to put it back across goal.
Yeah, that's exactly what that fan's just said.
Yeah. He knows his stuff.
Capeta was well on.
And so Diana Silva, so were the two players she could have passed it to. Wrong decision. Got to go low and hard across the goal. Either you score or you give it to one of your teammates. Yeah.
Just goes, oh, I'm right here. Got to hit towards goal. It weren't a great attempt. The Portugal fans behind the goal.
Best chance of the game by far for Portugal.
Believes that could have gone in, but it didn't.
And at that point, they'd be winning the second half.
Yeah. And it would have put a bit of substance behind what's been a really strong second half performance.
Yeah.
Or at least a much better second half performance.
Especially because
strong's the right word.
Yeah. But even now Spain go score another one, and suddenly it does put a bit of dampener on things.
I don't think they will personally. I think Portugal will hold this now.
Yeah, but I thought Portugal might hold out till half time at 2-0. That would have been a very different game. Although Spain would have,
I'm not so sure.
if Spain would have probably gone, they'd gone for it in the second half and found a couple more.
Here is Carmona pass across to Mendes. Yeah, I reckon we'll see a third round and probably the last two substitutes for Spain soon.
Mm.
Just trying to think if they'd like to get on there. Possibly someone like Zubieta. That's a bit clumsy from Paraluelo. Try to chase down the ball.
Yeah.
Gives him a free kick.
Paraluelo, this was a good opportunity for Paraluelo because I don't think Pina was okay, but I think she was brilliant. But Paraluelo's kind of just come on and kept kicking people.
Yes.
And
she's won 0 out of 5 duels, 0 out of 5 successful dribbles. Not completed a single pass.
Yeah. Karen Tay's coming off Spain's final change.
Martin Prieto on. Martin Prieto has had a fantastic campaign. She wasn't going to get in the national side when she was playing at Atletico, I think it was, but she moved to Benfica last summer. Has had a remarkable season in Liga Portugal and earned herself a spot in this Spain side. So now let's see what she can do.
Yeah, it's always refreshing to see a player do that. Get a move, shine, and then get rewarded for it.
HB says, what happened to Paraluelo? She looked so promising in the World Cup. I don't rate her that highly. I think a player who relies too heavily on their pace and just being able to block, run in behind, and because Spain don't really play that kind of that style of play, because Barcelona don't, she doesn't thrive in those sorts of systems. Now, she does well in Liga F against low opposition, but I don't know. I think a bit of an overrated player in my opinion. Portugal throw on that far side. And well, Portugal are still enjoying it, regardless of result.
No, great
fans
time.
In full voice with the flags flying high. Proud of their country, regardless of how they performed tonight.
100%.
And to be fair, with the circumstances around this game, it was never going to be an easy one. With the emotion of the events of today. playing in honour of Diogo Jota.
They'd like a goal. I think a goal would be nice. Give the fans something to cheer. I mean, they're out there cheering anyway. Yeah, credit to. They were exactly the same at Wembley when England was smashing them 6-0. They were still full of
louder than a lot of the England fans, to be fair.
Yeah, they were again messing around with Mexican waves. But yeah, credit to them because it is very. It can obviously it shouldn't be, and it does annoy me when people do just stop cheering for their side when they start losing. But it shows the dedications there when your side have thought you've been smashed by Spain. You're 4-0 down, but you're still cheering and singing on your
phone. Gets past Borges, and then Borges with a good recovering tackle. Putas. Nice, says I can't stand Leia Alexandria. She doesn't look. Ooh. She never looks reliable for Spain or City/Barca. We haven't seen her for Barca yet, to be fair. But
she's not a centre half.
No, this is the thing. She did look quite good at right back, and then everyone's decided this year that she's suddenly a centre back.
I'm not sure if she's made that. If she knows that's a decision that's been made.
I don't know. I feel like she looks more comfortable at right back, where you do have a little bit more time on the ball. Your mistakes are a little less punished. You've got to be like inch perfect really at right back.
The centre half.
Yeah, centre half. Right back. You've got a little more leeway.
Mm.
Well, this is something for Spain fans to cheer. The return of Aitana Bonmati. There's a little bit of fear that she wouldn't make this game. She would perhaps miss the first few games of the tournament. Alas, that was bollocks. She's here. And she'll play 10 minutes at the end of this game against Spain, against Portugal.
This is
Vicky Lopez, excellent though.
Yeah.
Deserved the opportunity to start with Bonmati not available to start. And yeah, really thrived in that role. But now, Aitana Bonmati on for Spain.
I mean, it's just absurd. 10 minutes ago, you're already falling out and you're just bringing on the Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah. Well, I want to get some minutes in the mix.
100%. Slowly just build up her fitness levels again. But yeah, credit to Vicky Lopez because she played absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah.
Didn't put a foot wrong. Looked right at home in this Spain side. And again, I think another player that's just unfortunate with the quality that Spain possess that she doesn't start. It's not her fault that her two competitive midfielders are the last two winners of the Ballon d'Or. What more can you do as a player? Apart from win it yourself, but again, she won't get that opportunity because she won't start before ahead of them for Barcelona or for Spain. So tonight was a good opportunity to really show that
I don't think she's got too long to wait, to be fair. Putas is already 31. I think her fitness levels since her injury haven't been as high as they once were. So I think she'll happily play rotation next season and perhaps look at being a starting player the year after that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Last change for Portugal coming as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if Putas at 32 next summer was looking at an NWSL move.
Yeah.
Because
she would play well over there.
Yeah. If she's not going to be the starter in the big games of Barca, why not go to the NWSL and earn a fat paycheck at the end of her career?
Mm.
What else has she got left to do at Barca? She's won the UWSL.
See what Michelle Kang's doing.
Yeah.
That's always his best bet. Yeah, final change of the evening then. Going to Portugal.
It's going to be Diana Silva making way. She's not been awful.
Yeah.
So when she's got the ball, she's trying to make things happen. Tough afternoon though tough evening to try and do that.
Yeah.
Barrier on in her place. Portugal have shown some glimpses. We haven't seen them come forward, so how they're going to perform against Italy is a mystery.
Look, there's positives to take from this second half.
Definitely.
At the moment, it's 0-0 in the second half. And I know, again, Spain take their foot off the gas, but still, as a nation and as a team, they've got to take the positives from this game, and that is one of them. Still 7 minutes to go, to be fair. But either way, even if they do concede now, it's still been a much improved second 45 minutes. If they play like this in the first, and I don't think they'd have conceded 4. And that's what will frustrate them.
They play like they did for most of the first half.
Yeah.
Well, there's just those lapses in concentration. At the start of the game, they started incredibly slow. At the end of the first half, they tired out.
I don't know which phase would be more annoying. The really bad start or the fact they did so well to work themselves back into the game and then went through all that away before half time.
Still the start. It's a completely different game if they don't come out of the blocks half asleep.
Because technically, even if they conceded those 2 goals 10 minutes later and then had the good half an hour, that good half an hour would have carried them into half time. And then only be... that's a bit of a silly way to look at it, but if you look at it that way.
Yeah. So here comes Spain then. Alexandri gives the ball to Olga Carmona. Now Gallardo. Ball at the top, headed down. Paralelo will try and make it happen for Spain. Gallardo does try to ride the challenge. Takes aim and just wide of the mark.
Not a bad effort at all that from Gallardo. Just past the post. Had Inez Pereira scurrying across her goal to get down low to that corner. Lovely little shift onto her left foot. But yeah, not bad at all. Oh, that was close. Very close. But alas, didn't find the corner.
Yeah. So Portugal playing out again. Pereira. Now Martin Prieto putting them under pressure. Nice play from Spain. Unable that from Portugal. Sorry, unable to keep it in touch there though.
I feel like this game has just told us what we already really knew. Spain are very, very good.
No.
Portugal when they aren't Portugal at their worst
Matty wins it high. Keeps carrying it.
Should have passed it.
Should have shifted it to Paralelo. Starts to put though. Martin Prieto, same effort. Did not trust Paralelo with that.
No.
HB says this Paralelo cameo. Uncomfortable conversations need to be had. Yeah, she's not been good.
No.
Alex says Sauer's like Svindas Jonsdottir, absolute pace merchant, could work in the NWSL. Yeah, possibly. As Sapphire says, Paralelo kill it in the NWSL. Barcelona be smart to cash in on her while people still rate her. If it actually goes anywhere, I'd probably say Mexico is more likely. I just think for the money, she's more likely to go to NWSL. Paralelo, ball across the box, straight into the hands of Pereira. She has... Let's go watch the replay.
That was what happened while we were watching the other replay.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Paralelo, ball in, headed away. It's going to fall for Carmona. And that's the less said about that effort, the better.
But yeah, I think, we've learned everything we knew because Spain are really good, and when Portugal, at their worst, look like a really poor side, but when they play well and put a good performance together, they can actually challenge and do well against decent sides. Like the way they play, even at their best today, won't be enough to beat Spain, but it would be enough to beat other sides and other sides in this group as well. That's the way they've got to look at it.
There's 2 players down there, a Portuguese player and a Spanish player, and I think, both are in some pain, but I think it's a Portugal player. Portugal got a free kick.
Portugal got a free kick for the initial instant. It was the second one where they all just collided with each other for no reason. Not for no reason. They were challenging for the ball, but also they didn't realise the whistle had already gone.
I don't know if Francesca's always checking something on VAR or if she's just fiddling with her headset.
Because
that's what they do, isn't it?
They're probably having a chat, aren't they?
What are we getting after this then?
So Capetta was fouled, and then Jana Fernand
fell on her.
Yeah, and they all just end up hurt. They both hurt each other really.
Lands on her knee there.
And then
not nice one finding Capetta, but she's all right. But yeah, they're just ordering food, I reckon. VAR. What a classic Swiss delicacy.
I don't know.
Any Swiss people in chat? What's a classic Swiss delicacy?
Yeah, none of the English officials have got.
That's Belgium.
Actually, I think Emily Kearney's got a job as assistant referee tomorrow. They haven't given Jared Gillett anything on VAR yet. But I can't imagine him and Demetrescu getting But
how come none of the English are any of the English officials there?
No, we've got an assistant referee, a VAR, and assistant VAR. That is it.
No, on one hand, I get it because I don't think the refereeing standard's incredible in England. But I don't think the referee standard is very good anywhere else from what I've seen.
Well,
Like, Hayes would have done a better job than any of the refs I've seen so far. Their referee's not doing bad, to be fair, but I've got a pre-existing just prejudice against her. Not prejudice, that's not the right word. But she just, yeah. I know she's not a good ref. I've seen it happen.
The problem is...
Toblerone, great shout from ref.
Yeah. The problem is with the English officials is that they aren't... Like, they don't get the big Champions League games. Because you haven't got a Cheryl Foster or a... Well, I can't think of her name.
I don't know.
Rebecca Welsh. Well, you haven't got any of them anymore. Like, the FIFA officials that you have in England, they're often under 21 games and doing Moldova versus Slovakia. They're not doing the top internationals. And it's the same, well, you don't see them in the Champions League.
Yeah.
They're just, I don't know, they're not at the same level as the other officials.
In a corner. I just think of them as such. Donny says, no way Alexia leaving Barca to go anywhere. She is Barca. It says, can't see Alexia
corner, flicked on, can they find the back of the net? Good save again from Nan Calves.
But it would seem to think Alexia will never leave Barcelona.
She has to leave at some point. That wasn't a good tackle.
People just had to say about Mario Caldente before the end of last season. Players' times come and go. I think by this point next year, people will probably be saying, you know what, if we just go down to Dorsal, it's not the biggest loss.
Another chance this for Portugal from this corner. I'm not sure why number 13 there hasn't just flicked that on. Rather than she let it run through her legs. Should have just backheeled it in the goal.
Yeah. 2 minutes of additional time is Paralluelo.
That's
going to cut inside. Has a shot. Takes a huge deflection.
See, that feels like they've read the room there. Because like earlier we got 8 minutes, and I don't think that was 8. I think we had the same amount of subs and everything. I don't think it was 8 minutes worth, but I think they've read the room a bit and gone, we'll just throw 2 minutes on the end.
So says I just really couldn't see her in the US or England or really any non-Spanish speaking country. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if she goes to certain parts of the US, they're fairly Spanish speaking.
And she can speak
English.
Yeah, it's not like she
even so she doesn't need to.
And she can learn it. Yeah, I'm not sure that's something that should hold her back.
I think Sapphire saying more doesn't fit the culture.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean America is a culture.
I don't know why anyone would ever want to live in America, but I think.
No offense, this is not dissing the people. Let's just say
No, just
the people. I love
the American people. There's just some awful ones, and the government is an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Like,
I know in England we can't really talk, but at least America's a different level.
Our government isn't that bad. People just moan about anything.
It's not necessarily the government in power.
Political
the
sphere,
government. Yeah.
The problem is you always have like raving loony parties, but often don't get as much attention as Reform have.
And the Borgia's way, she's gone around making really daft tackles since she came on. But she's done well, I think. She's actually done quite well.
Also, I've missed this half. Real life to go over for a bit. Guessing I didn't miss much. Nah, not really.
No.
When we're talking about the political...
Yeah, he's come back with like Nigel Farage.
No, I haven't missed much.
No.
Portugal win better in the second half. Spain take the foot off the gas.
Real life, I like that. Real life took over.
Yeah. What do you mean real life? This is real.
Like we just sit around living in a virtual reality, just watching football all the time.
Yeah, we don't exist with the people in chat. We're just here on a screen.
We're like holograms.
Sometimes it's not on. If only we were AI, I'll make this much easier. Here is Putas. Finds Fernandez. Now Carmona.
Come on, Demetrescu.
Paralluelo. Not a bad ball. They have found a goal. Martin Prieto. A nice moment for her, and Spain cap off their victory with goal number 5 in added time.
That was so unnecessary.
Yeah. A really good second half for Portugal. A little blemish right at the end there. Bills came back. Ruined it for Portugal. Nice moment for her, personally. Though.
Not that really good moment for her. Great for her to score, but we've played over the 2 minutes. Portugal could have gone away with a second half clean sheet. And for, I don't know, but 5 looks much more of a drubbing than 4 does to me.
And Paraluelo stat pads and assist. This is where she gets major tournament contributions from, by the way. People point out World Cup stats. This is where she gets the contributions.
It's a good ball in, but at this point in the game, it's a good header as well.
Helps that the player in the box ran away from the player.
Also, the physicality as well. It was a complete mismatch. That is full time.
There we go, full time here in Bern. Spain 5, Portugal 0. I'd say it felt like men against boys, but it felt like ladies against girls there. Portugal couldn't compete at all. Spain dominant in victory. Second half was better, but Spain really went down the gears. So, yeah, impressive victory from Spain. I'm not sure what else we expected from that. Really good performance. They're going to win it all. See you next time.
Yeah, it was one of those where I think that they really killed the momentum of the tournament.
Oh yeah, we've seen 5 goals across 3 matches. We get to Spain, they hit 5 in 1.
We've seen some really close and dramatic, exciting affairs, and then Spain went out and gone.
Every other game have been wins, but they've all been set up by 1 goal margin.
Tomorrow,
Spain 5.
Again, tomorrow I think will be a similar sentiment of where Denmark and Sweden go out and play an absolute classic, really close football match, and then Germany just go, oh, we've beaten Poland. That was fun. Yeah. Saturday, Group D is brilliant.
I think Netherlands Wales could be.
Depends the Welsh.
It depends how placid Netherlands are and how impressive Wales.
Yeah, if Wales play like Portugal just did, the Netherlands will win. That's the standard set. But to be honest, I just can't wait to go down to Sunday again. I want to watch Group A. That's fun. Right.
There we go. Burn off the next 2 days. How long to get back to Group A?
No, make sure to subscribe.
Yes, if you are new to the channel and haven't hit subscribe yet, make sure to do so. We're going to be live for every game at this tournament. Phil says, cheers, lads. See you tomorrow for the next one. See you then, Phil. Jonas is impressive win from Spain. Indeed it was. Jennifer says, appreciate the commentary, lads. See you on some good matches tomorrow. Cheers. See you tomorrow for the 5 o'clock game. Sweden versus Denmark and then Germany versus Poland at 8 p.m. I cannot wait. That, though, is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.